Paul is ready. And Sharice's been studying. So
we backstage, right?
yeah.
Yes, I've been studying, and it's just so much, you guys. I'm
They can still
like,
hear us.
Hold on,
They can still hear us though.
Yeah, the thing is we're backstage, so that we should be. Oh, hey, what's going on, everybody? I don't know what just happened, but I don't know, because y'all know I got that bootleg Wi-Fi. So, but it doesn't matter because we are here, and we made it safely. Anyway, today is Tuesday. Do I look dark, guys? Am I just tripping? Okay.
You good?
Okay, I was trying to turn my ring light up, but it is Tuesday, and we are here for Ready to Love, because we are ready to love, and we are here to discuss episode number 7. And this is the panel review. Shout out to you guys. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for the support. It's 30 of you watching and in the chat right now. If you don't mind, please hit that thumbs up button for the support. If you have not subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe. Make sure you click that notification bell, so every time I go live or I post a new video, you will be the first to know. And you guys know who I am. I am Miss Sabrina Soul. And if you want to follow me on my socials, if you go down to the description box below, all my socials are down there. You can follow me there. And if you have not catched my live watch party for episode 7, make sure you go back to Friday night, where we literally watch the show together and we have at it. But anyway, in the very, very beginning, I like to start with introducing my panel and also letting you know where you can follow them on socials. We're going to go ahead and start with my amazing co-hosts on the other shows and have been with me for years and years, Tyrone.
What's up, everybody? Tyrone Wilson. You can catch me at Ty Wilson 21 everywhere. I am working on some projects on YouTube, so that's most likely going to be the place where I drop my next project. I was on Ready to Love DC with Sabrina. It's always a pleasure to be on the panel, giving my thoughts, sharing the screen, with some amazing panelists, even going at it with Paul and J-Dub. So let's go. I'm ready.
Yo.
It's on me?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Here I go. Okay. You already know it's PO from Potomac. Yeah, I'm out here. Yeah, we got a lot. I can't wait till, I almost can't even introduce myself because I want to jump right into it because, as y'all do know, I delivered. So we did that.
Wow.
But anyway, yeah, I'm out here.
I really hope Stacey's coming tonight. I can't handle Paul by myself tonight.
Wow.
Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Use that one. Okay. Okay. Let's go with Really Be TV.
Hey, you guys. I'll be on camera in a minute. Really Be TV. You can find me on YouTube at Really Be TV. And thank you, Sabrina, and the chat and everybody. I did get my 10K on Friday, so thank you for the shout out. Thank you guys for the support. So yes.
Congratulations. I'm Sharice.
Thank
you. From Ready to Love Miami. And yes, I'm here tonight. You know where to find me, Sharice Logan and Logan Skincare.
And make sure you follow everybody on the panel. We have YouTube channels. I know I have a YouTube. Tyrone has a YouTube channel. Really Be. She said she just hit her 10,000 subscriber mark. Make sure you go and support and subscribe to her channel. And Sharice also too has a YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to all of our channels. And of course, definitely hit PO up on Instagram because he got them beats for you and he be delivering. Okay. So shout out to my amazing panelists. You guys know without you, my chat, and without them, there is no me. So I appreciate you and I love you guys so much. All right, let's go ahead and get started because it's a lot to unpack and unpack. And one thing about this season, I feel like it's finally getting good. it was to the point where I was like, oh God, I'm just typing these notes. I'm just like, oh my God, like, okay. And I'm doing it because I have to do it. Now it's like I'm kind of doing it because I want to do it. Like, I'm so excited about what's been escalating on the season. I'm here for it. Okay. And just to let everybody know that what we're going to talk about and discuss tonight are the views of our own. We are not affiliated with the Oprah Winfrey Network. We are not affiliated with Lightheart. These are just our views and opinions on what we see and what we watch on TV. And that's all it is. All right, guys. Before we get started, would any of the panelists like to make a comment, say anything about the season, last episode, this, or just any thoughts? You guys know we're gonna talk about the actual episode, so, but do you got anything?
You know what? I'll just say congratulations, Paul. You know, I'll be a
Yes.
stand-up guy, and I'll say, Paul, you know what? You got it right. Me and you battled specifically on this.
Yes.
You got it right. Shout out to you, Paul.
Yes. Thank you.
What is those sound effects?
I mean, I'm winning. You know, I got to. So I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna tell y'all something. The only reason why I was able to guess this or predict this is not, obviously I didn't have any, inside details or intel or whatever, but it just seems like they're following the same format that they did for our season. Kind of with the truth or dare situation, kind of the Blake situation coming in and being a man that you want to hate. And in the same time, when Wiley went home, being the youngest is the same time Jonique went home. Same episode. So it's like the same formula, just a little mosh pit kind of a difference to it. But I will share my other predictions later.
Okay. All right. Tyrone, you got anything?
Nah, that's it. We'll talk about it as we go on, because I
was going to say, let's not
say.
talk about the actual episode. Yeah, because we're going to get to it. Yeah. And shout out to Another Round. You guys know who Jay is from Another Round. She has the comment. She's actually saying, follow the panel and like the live. Thank you so much, Jay, for your support. And make sure you guys follow Jay, because she actually does reviews on Ready to Love and other shows as well. So we all support each other here on YouTube. So definitely support Jay. All right. Sharice, Stacy B. Hey, I don't know if you can. Y'all know. I was about to say, because Stacy, she either driving, jumping out of an airplane, on a bus, but either way, she gonna make it.
Lord, I was trying to throw this dinner together. Y'all know what I'm doing. I'm trying to be here.
We appreciate you being here. You got anything, not about this episode, but just within this season, just in general, you have anything?
I'm just watching. I'm like everybody else. I'm just trying to see what it do.
Yeah, I'm the same thing.
I don't even know. And I'm just gonna say I gotta give, credit where it's due. PO, if y'all can see the group chat, how he be on it. Look.
Oh my God!
Paul, you have been knighted today.
Look, I'll be on my lives. I be on my lives on Friday when I do my watch party, and when something happens that Paul said is gonna happen, I be like, y'all, I know Paul gonna say something in the chat. I know he gonna say something.
You already know I pulled up this time.
Yeah, you did. They be like, Paul be delivering.
Okay. Trying to tell you, I got this thing figured out.
Oh my God. All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and get started. I'm sorry also to the viewers. We were running a little behind schedule. My apologies. All right. So we are going to jump into and tackle Ready to Love, episode number 7, Queens Don't Chase. That is the name of the episode. We start the episode with the cliffhanger from last week, where they're at their group lunch, and it goes right into Jeffrey, Sue Ann, and Blake. They're going back and forth with each other about the lies that were and were not told, and Sue is advocating for her client Blake per Jeffrey. Sue Ann and Blake want Jeffrey to keep their name out of her mouth. And Jeffrey says that Sue just pretty much wanted a moment with her, and she was excited that she finally got it. I don't know how excited, but that's what it seems like. But anyway, Tommy tells the singles that after dessert, some decisions have to be made, and that one woman and one man will be eliminated. We will pretty much see them mix and mingling. Many are welcoming Andre back. Blake tells Sue that their connection is growing stronger. Tony mentions how emotions are now going to start coming out. Jeffrey and Andre have a moment. Andre explains that they continue to stay in contact when he was out. Anthony, Marcia, Morgan are having a conversation about how Anthony is not aggressive enough, how women want to be pursued, and for him to not spread himself thin. Andre tells Mercedes that he was hurt because everybody checked on him but her, and she was his top connection. Andre wants to know why you didn't check on me. Why didn't she check on me? She replies, out of sight, out of mind. Morgan wants to know from Tony, are you looking for any woman, or are you just looking for that special woman? Well, Morgan says that he is just entirely too friendly. He is too flirtatious, and that is pretty much going to make her hurt him. They meet with Tommy. They discuss their strongest and weakest connections. The two men on the chopping block are Mark Anthony and Anthony. Anthony is safe, and Mark Anthony is saved by the lifeline, which the women unanimously voted to keep him. Jonique and Sue are on the chopping block, and Jonique is eliminated. The lifeline was not used to save her. Tommy then tells the singles that today was the last day for them to use their second chance option, and he tells them that there is no elimination this week. Sorry about my notes being long, guys, but it was a long scene, so
That's all good.
it was a lot, but it's a lot to unpack. If y'all want me to go through the notes so y'all can, or y'all got notes, I don't know how you want to do it because it was a lot.
I got it.
All right.
Each one of those is like a separate scene for me,
right,
with notes. So it's a lot to unpack there.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to hit you with the timeout signal. That's all good.
That's all
who
good.
me? Oh, I couldn't because my notes, when I bring my notes up, it covers the screen. I can't see anything. I'm reading. Yeah, my notes are up. So you want to go first, Tyrone?
Sure. Okay, so I guess that very first scene with them all together. I think we all know why we put them all in the room and have them air out their grievances, right? So we'll have some things to talk about. But it's almost like, remember how back in the day, you know, the DJ would play like Knuck If You Buck, they'd play Lil Jon, they'd play Knocking Heads Off, and then get mad because the whole club is fighting. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Like you created this environment. And you can see who don't like that environment and who does, because I feel like they were really trying to show us, Morgan, like production has really been talking to us a lot and setting some things up a lot, and you can hear Morgan say that she actually likes all that conflict. So that was pretty cool to see. I don't know what's going on with this this Blake and Morgan thing. We're gonna get into it, I'm sure, later on. But that very first scene with them all together, it's exactly what we expected it to be. And you could hear him. It's almost like you can hear Tommy kind of guiding them into what to do, into what to say. So it is what it is for that scene with them, all getting together like that.
Yeah, that was heavily produced. That whole entire scene was produced. It was, let's bring these people together. Let's create the hostile environment, and then let's pick our good shots of this so we can show personalities, right? But here's one thing that I'm always confused on, right? We got an echo. Okay. So the thing that I'm always confused on is you have this vicious attack that happens to Blake often. And then Blake for some reason, never claps back. He's never disrespectful. He's never, any of those behaviors that are mirrored onto him. So I'm wondering, how did this happen? First off, like, how is it that everybody has so much pent up anger towards him, but he can sit back and say, I mean, you know what? I'm sorry you feel that way, and it, like, I'm confused by that whole posture that he's holding, right? And then you also have, what do you call
He's a
it?
narcissist.
You have like them. Well, but see, narcissists, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say, I wouldn't think that he was a narcissist. I mean, he's able to keep his composure. He's not, and he's not even like going after these people. He's not talking to them. He's not saying anything to them. They produce the scene, they put him in the middle of it, and then people hurl insults at him, and then he sits back and takes it. He's better than me, because I would be clapping back.
I have some answers, but I think, I'll wait to the end, to that very last Blake and Morgan date. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. As for the what is it? Are we talking about the elimination or no?
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
the audio was off, Paul. I agree with you, because you hear Sue say, don't talk about me. Like 4 times, and it's out of order. The timing is off. It sounds like they cut it a couple times.
Right.
And it just didn't make any sense. The amount of time she called her sweetheart, like she wanted.
Right.
It's just weird.
Yeah, and I feel like, ultimately, man, they got to quit isolating the incident and really let the cat out the bag so that we can follow along and see what the is. As for the elimination, we knew that Mark Anthony was at the bottom. We knew that Mark Anthony was going to be in there, and we knew that Jonique was going home. Not because it was her fault, but that was the chips. The end.
Really, B?
So, in my opinion, and I know the word narcissist is an overused word. I know people throw it out there all the time. So maybe I won't use that stronger word and say narcissist, but I do think there are people that are charmers. We see it all the time. We see guys who are the perfect boyfriend, and women can do it too, but in this case, we're talking about a man. But we see guys that are the perfect gentlemen. They say all the right things. They take you to your favorite restaurant. They love bomb you. They send you flowers. They charm your parents. They buy your little sister her favorite Barbie. Like, we know guys who know how to sit there and smile and say all the right things, and they're cool under pressure. And then whatever happens after a year, 2 years, 5 years, they blow. And I just think that Blake is doing a great job of hiding that part of him. Do I think that it's there? Sure, I do. And I think we might see it before this is all over said and done. But he definitely is doing a good job of playing cool under fire. But that's why, to be honest with you, I don't believe 100% of Jeffrey's version of the story. I'm not saying that Blake hasn't done something, but I don't understand Blake. I don't understand this unless they're really editing the hell out of this. I don't understand the venom. Like, I mean, is Blake a little arrogant? Yeah. Does he get on my nerves a little bit? Yeah. But the level, like that whole situation at the end, like I'm confused by it. But I definitely think that Blake knows how to play the game, and that's just what.
Well, let me ask you a quick follow-up question. So how would you judge Blake if he, clapped back and if he went up and down those ladies like that? You see what I'm saying? So it's like he's wrong either way.
To be honest with you, if he had gone off on old girl, honestly, if he had gone off on old girl at the end of this episode, I wouldn't have had any problem with it at all, because I really feel like whatever they're editing, they're not giving us the full story. And I don't know where her anger at him is coming from. I have not seen anything from him on that level. So I don't know where to so it honestly, if he had clapped back at her at the end of this episode and gone off on her, I'd have been I would have been clapping it up. I honestly would have been. But I know things are edited. I know we don't always get the whole story. So something, I just feel like there's something they're I just feel like it's something they're not showing us. Because he can't keep he's
Yeah,
landing in the bottom every week for a reason.
yeah. That's the thing. I mean, people for people to not like you, that's one thing, but for people to just have this aggression and it's across, it's unilateral. You know, I just want to know what that was.
Sharice, what you
Man,
got? Oh, sorry.
I'll go after Sharice or Stacy.
Sharice.
I'm thinking
You want us to come
because
back to
I do. You know
Okay.
how I feel about Blake. I just don't know.
Okay, we'll come back to Sharice. Stacy, what you got?
I'm with Sharice. Like, it's so hard to marry the two Blakes, right? Because word on the street is that, okay, so I heard that Blake was in H-Town, like he's from here. I ain't saying nothing crazy. And I heard like he's a friendly guy, like he's pretty known, pretty cool. So like to hear one thing and then to see how people are responding to him. And then to see his very his very controlled responses, because I would say it's very controlled. I'm having a hard time connecting the Blake dots. The thing is, I do agree with PO in that, what do you want a man to do? Like, these are Black men, and even if we're in the show, we're going on this path to find love, right? You gotta watch how you respond to women, because then you get abuser, attacker, you get labeled as all of this like super aggressive style of man. And it's really hard at this point for us to know who Drake is. Like, I mean, not Drake. Hell, what's his name? Blake. I just feel like we need to go back to Eminem and be like, will the real Slim Shady please stand up? Because I have no idea who this guy is. I don't know what the venom is, but I mean, I don't know what the venom is. I can understand it if he deserves it. But I also, we all at the same place. I don't know.
Sharice, you ready?
I mean, I think it's just whatever they must be perceiving from him. I don't think it's coming from nowhere. I just think that I don't know. Like, I think that Tyrone said it. Like, it's something else going on. Who said that? Oh no,
Oh, I'm about to say it. Go
Jay.
ahead.
She said that. I think Jay, you said that, right? It has to be more to it. I feel like it's more to it.
Yeah, we agree with you there. I think, like you, Sharice, I think it's more to it. It's something we're not seeing, but because we can't see it, it's hard to put it all together. You know what I mean?
Tyrone.
Yeah, I'm trying so hard to hold off because I wanted to wait till the Morgan date. But I think, in all honesty, I feel like Blake ends up taking the brunt for a lot of the men that may have hurt them at some point in the past. And, they ask him to be honest. They get on him for lying to the women. But I feel like he's been telling the straight up truth since day one. And they just don't like his delivery, And if he ain't feeling them, it's an issue. If you listen to the other women, Cynthia says Blake is misunderstood. Even Mercedes says, I understand him, but I just think he gets a bad rep or something like that. And it just seems to be these two groups of women. And I would imagine at this point, cliques have already formed. And, in each clique, there seems to be, a den mom that's going to protect her cubs. And you get to see this come up. And we talk about, well, especially with Morgan, talks about men being aggressive. She wants it. She wants them to be honest. Like every person she talks to, she's telling them, just be honest, just be honest, just be honest. And I feel like Blake has been that way. I went back and watched a whole bunch of clips. I had listened to what Blake was saying, and he, technically he was not saying anything wrong other than how he feels. And his body language may convey something that they don't like. And ultimately, I just think it may be on them. I don't want to say that they have a lack of confidence, but if you're really feeling good about that, about yourself, and you don't care about what this man says, then because you're not feeling him, and if you think about it, Morgan was the first person to walk away from him when he was explaining, who he is. And I got 3 kids. And what did she say? Oh, I'm out. Right. So if we talk about people, being rude at the beginning, and of course we may have missed some things, but those are the things that we saw from their first interactions. So, I don't know what you really want the man to do. He can't win. Um, and I've been in a similar situation where you want to tell the truth. They want you to be aggressive, but you can't be aggressive. You can't be mean. And it's been a really tough situation for him. So he's doing the only thing he can do. Hey, you don't want to address it. All right, I'll move on.
I feel that.
Yeah.
You know what, Tyrone? Oh, I'm sorry.
Stacey?
You know what, Tyrone? I feel that because I always feel like, like women, the single women here, like when we're dating and we're like, hey, we want you to be honest and open up. But then it's like the trauma of when men do open up and they're honest, and then women, some of us might not like their response or their answers. And so we make them regret being open and honest with us. You know what I think? I can understand that viewpoint, Tyrone. Like I can understand, like, hell, he's damned if he do and he's damned if he don't. Like if he say what you want to hear, he's being called a liar. But if he tells the truth, he's a narcissist and he's arrogant. Like, who's Blake? We don't know.
You know what though? I think a lot of Blake's problem is this. He's not like Tony. He doesn't do the razzle dazzle, right? And that's what a lot of these women are probably used to. And so when they get somebody that's not doing that, it takes them out of their comfort zone, and they're looking at them like, what's wrong with him? Like, why is he not, doing the little, smoosh and all that other stuff? And, it just looks weird for him to come in here like, man, I'm not doing none of that. I'm coming here. I'm gonna tell you exactly who I am and what I want. And, if you like it, cool. If not, I'll move on.
But can I say this too though? Let's also, I also don't want us to sit here and act like we have no clue why. I mean, again, the level of response is one thing, but I mean, Blake definitely has had some moments where, and I agree with what Tyrone said, his delivery is, in my opinion, his delivery is sometime off, like when Cynthia was trying to talk to him during his, what do y'all call it? The remediation date or whatever. And she's telling him what it is about the other ladies that they're turned off. Why she's trying to tell him why he keeps landing in the bottom. And what did he say in his confessional? I mean, actually, I don't agree with her. And at this point, I just want her to get on with it. I mean, am I going home or not? Like, if that's what he said in his confessional, I'm sure his body language said it. I'm sure, you know what I'm saying? So it's not that, and we said it last week with his date with Jonique, and he was being difficult. And, well, you asked me a very general question, so I'm going to give you a general answer. And, like, it's not that he hasn't done anything, but right, I do think that I do think more to it than they're not showing us.
Let me just tell you one thing about his confessional real quick. When he's saying what he's saying, like, I'm just wishing that I'm wishing that she gets on with it and blah, blah, blah. As the viewer hears that, it sounds crazy. but they coach this question and say, so in that moment, how were you feeling when she was delivering the news or whatever? And he probably said, that part in his confessional, like, I'm thinking on the inside, let's just get on with it. I don't know what the hell's going on. And they use that in a way to sort of change the narrative, to add on or tack on to that arrogant side that they're showing us.
Yeah, I went back and watched that date with him and Cynthia because I'm trying to find all of Blake's connections and stuff. And I think that date went really good. He actually said, this is the most, what did he say about the conversation? He said, this has been the most impactful or something conversation that he's had since he's been there. So I think that date went really well. I think a lot of the date was cut off. I think Cynthia's audio was cut off because he explained something. And then Cynthia says, well, the women think this. And then you hear Blake's thoughts on the date. Basically, it's him trying to figure out if it's an elimination or if it's a date because he's been there so many times. He just wants to know what the deal is. That's how I took it.
Yeah, y'all know how I feel. I've been saying what Tyrone just said about Blake like this whole time, and I get it. But just want to shout out to you guys in the chat. It is 193 of you watching, 199 of you watching. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. If you have not hit that thumbs up like button, take a moment to go ahead and do that. We would so appreciate it. As Really Be TV says, it is free 99. All right, guys. So how do you feel about the elimination? Because we had Mark Anthony, who was saved with the unanimous lifeline, the vote. But then we had Jonique actually get eliminated. And I had to watch it back because I was like, did we know that tonight was the last night for them to use this? We didn't know. We didn't know until after the elimination that Tommy mentions it. So we didn't even know that night was the last night, which was very unfortunate because I'm thinking to myself, had they have known, the men have known, because I was really upset by that scene. But I think if they would have known that was the last night, they would have used it for Jonique. But they didn't know. And I think that they probably wanted to save that lifeline for someone else, but they had no clue that
Wait a minute. They didn't know or we didn't know?
No, well, when he said it, did you see their faces? Their faces were like, oh, shoot, like we can't use it no more. Like tonight's the last night. They were shocked just as I was shocked.
I think as gentlemen, they should have just used it anyway. Even if it's to give someone else some more screen time. If not Jonique, they should have just used it anyway. If they have some strong connections, then it don't matter, right? If they have, confidence in their game, then it don't matter. Blue said, bring it, right? And it's been a confusing thing anyway. Like I don't even know why.
So let me take you behind. Let me take you behind the scenes of the.
I think a better way of doing that. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say I'll take you behind the scenes of this whole lifeline deal. So we know that lifeline was produced. We know this. We know that there was not a majority of people saying, we want to save him because most of the people that was there didn't want him there. Right? So they wouldn't have, majority over that. We know this. And then for them to apply that lifeline to Mark Anthony and then turn around and tell the fellas, oh yeah, by the way, you ain't going to get another shot. We know that was also a part of the production efforty. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. And I told y'all them cats is going to mess up.
Paul
Letting somebody like Jonique go, huh?
Did Paul just say effery?
Yeah,
Yes,
he
I
did.
did.
I like the word. I like
Didn't I tell you they was gonna mess up and let Jonique go,
Mhm.
and they gonna
They
regret
did.
it
And
afterwards?
they gonna regret that because I love her.
I love
Yeah.
Jonique too. She's a straight boss. She about her business. She's younger, but she
Yeah.
speak well. She knows exactly what she wants.
Mhm.
She ain't for no effery. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, yeah. Really B, you were actually getting ready to say something. I know it's a little delay on your end, but go ahead, Really B. Sorry.
No, it's okay. No, I was just gonna say I think a better way. I agree with Paul. It was all produced to create a moment. I get it. But if there was more, I think a more effective use of the save would have been to give the power to Tommy. And the reason why I say that, like when you think about, like I look at Project Runway, and they ended up doing that with Tim Gunn. They gave Tim Gunn a save because there's always that one person that you're like, damn, I think this was just a bad week for them. They really should be here. So I feel like if they give the power to Tommy, let everybody vote, let everybody go through their process. But for Tommy to be like, I don't know, I don't think it's Jonique's week to go yet, so I'm gonna use the Tommy save. I think that's more effective. But you to say we have to come up with unanimous, that to me, that I don't know who thought that was a good idea.
Yeah.
And that's why I agree 100% with Paul. Do I think that the women really agreed to save Mark Anthony, not knowing it was the last week? No, I don't.
Right. But I'll tell you a secret though. Tommy does have the save power. He's already the savior.
Well, that's true.
So yeah. But it
I mean, that's
optically optically it looked good, but reality not so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, Mark Anthony was saved, and Jonique, not unfortunate for Mark Anthony, but unfortunate for Jonique, she was voted off. And she did say, I know in her confessional or green screen, that she was like, Dad, they could have used a lifeline. And I think Cynthia also mentioned how she was real disappointed in that the guys could have used it too. But as I stated, I don't think that they knew that it was the last time or the last night that they could have used it. I think if they knew that they would have used it.
I agree with you.
I
I
think
totally agree. I don't think anybody knew that was the last time. It was just like it was like, oh, the ladies used the lifeline, so let's call it a quits for it. Like I feel like the rules, and this was a note that I made. I put no more second chances. So I felt like the rules could have been like a little more structured behind it.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be unanimous. I think it should be majority. And I love what Really Be said. Like, yes, let Tommy fix it, Jesus. Because when people messing up, like the whole cast needs to be saved sometime.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Agreed. So how do you guys feel about, and I'm trying to just touch on some things that I haven't really heard you guys talk about, because Andre, excuse me, you guys know that last episode Andre came back to the show. He's back in the process, and he said that Mercedes was his number one connection, and unfortunately she did not talk to him at all. He like, everybody, I was talking to everybody, but I wasn't talking to you. Like, where was you at? What happened? And she pretty much had to like let him down, and it just kind of made me feel some type of way, because he was like really butthurt by like her not talking to him. And I just want to say shout out to Mercedes for keeping it 100, because she was like, out of sight, out of mind. I mean, what you want me to say? And in real life, for him to be that upset, like you had only known her for like a week and a half, like 2 weeks.
Thank
like
you.
Why are you so upset that she didn't like the phone worked both ways? Like, I know I have had that C thing before, and I know it was probably a day or two where I was out, but the phone worked the same way. Like, he could have been like, hey, what's going on? Like, I thought you was a kid. Like, I'm not dead. I just want to let you know I'm not dead. But how you doing? You know what I'm saying? So He didn't contact her. I mean, at the end of the day, she's still a woman, and I'm sure
disagree,
she's
but
still
I think I'm in the minority.
No, I feel like this here. I feel like you only knew her 2 weeks. She ain't talked to you. Move on. You
Yeah,
said you
like
had other connections. Deal with them.
right.
Yeah. Wasn't
Yeah, and
your
she was
savior?
honest about it. And she was honest
Wasn't
about
your-
it. I was like, kudos to you, Mercedes, for standing her ground. But what about you, Really B? Why do you disagree?
Well, I think I'm in the minority. She just wasn't that into him. Let's be clear that she may have been his number one connection, but clearly he wasn't hers. And for that part, I understand. For that part, I get it. But I don't think in a process like this, and I know that I'm ready because I'm the only one up here that hasn't gone through the process. But in a process like this, that is accelerated, where you are dating every day or every other day, and this is an accelerated process. So I don't think it is ridiculous to think that me and you were vibing, we were connecting. I thought we were connecting. Clearly, we weren't where I thought we were, but I don't think if he felt like they had connected, I don't think it's unreasonable for her to send him a text, hey, how you feeling? He ain't say he wanted her to come and nurse him back to health. He just said, you didn't even check on me. Hell, I check on my coworkers when I find if I found out what during the height of it all. I checked on my coworkers who came up with the C word. You know what I'm saying? Be like, girl, you all right? I'm just checking on you. I ain't about to take them no soup. I'm not doing anything, but I don't think it was unreasonable. But I'm clearly the minority.
No, I agree with that part too, though. Like, I would have absolutely called and been like, but he kind of made it seem like that him and his other connections were like still connecting. You know what I mean? And I think with Mercedes, she's like,
I mean, it's not like everybody checked on him. He said everybody. That means the men, the women, everybody checked on him except for her. I think I would feel some kind of way.
He said all of his connections. He only had like 3.
I think I'm about to make a really bad joke.
But no, you're right. Because I know personally, I'd have been like, Andre, you good? You all right? Like, all right. But, I would have, if I would have focused on my connections. But I get it. But she said out of sight, out of mind. But that was kind of like, dang, but the way he acted is what kind of like took me back, because I'm like, he was really upset, just how upset he was. And then when he was sitting there talking to her, he was like, all right, I think I'm just gonna get up now. Like, he was mad. But I get it, everybody's different. Who am I to say how he can feel or whatever? But I just thought that it was a lot, and for someone that he didn't really know, it just was mind-boggling to me. But what is your really bad joke, Tyrone?
No, I was gonna say I always felt it was personal. You know what I mean? I personally have been in a situation where, you're out, but your connection says, hey, I'm going to continue with the process. And you got to respect that because it's part of the process. But for her to not do anything, my really bad joke was going to be, maybe she only had the emotional capacity for the 3 people that she was connecting with that was still
in that part.
In the show,
right? And she was like, it's a lot going on, and we know the ones that have been on the show, all of us that have been on the show. I know that when I was not filming, I was at home sleep. Like, I was tired. I had stuff that I was exhausted. I was drained. It takes a lot out of you. A 10-minute scene that you might see me on this episode might have took 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours to film. Like, that's a lot. And then they wasn't feeding me like that. And I was hungry all the time. So, but yeah, anywho. Okay. I don't want to keep talking about old stuff. Stacey B, we can't hear you, boo.
I'm sorry, y'all. These children back here, I done told them what I have to do. This is how I want to use a can opener, the electric one. I'm right here in the kitchen. Anyway, what I was going to say was, I don't blame her for feeling that way, because clearly these men, like, what people are always trying to label women, but these some emotional men. Like, Andre, what are you talking about? Like, we in the second episode of you whining about this. Like, sir, clearly you didn't hit her up and say anything about anything. Like, what do you do? I'm not saying like if you sick, you got to tell your friends and all this, but why are you still upset? Like, you clearly, you like her the most and you mad that the energy wasn't returned. Like, why are you still dragging this woman? I'm sure there's a million other reasons why we all can be dragged, but this is just too much. This team too much. Like, Andre, really, we're focused. We're in a process. Sabrina, Ty, P.O., y'all know how it is. Hell, really be just reviewing the show, you get tired and you got to take a nap from us. Like, y'all know we be tired. We got kids. We got our lives.
But
we got work.
I would have texted that boy. I would have texted that boy.
I would have texted him, but he seemed like, but you know what? Look, this is where I cross the line. Are you just like again? I am not one of those women who I feel like I need to baby you and handhold you, and I don't feel like that's something that I can present to a man. And maybe she's the same way. Like, if you needed something, if you feel a way, but I just feel like this is like, he's so high maintenance. Like, you constantly got to pour into his cup. Mm-hmm. And you know what I mean? Like, this is a conversation he could have hit her up and was like, dang, you ain't check on me, sis. Like, he could have texted her or whatever. Like, I was feeling you. You couldn't check on me. Like, I felt away. But for him to constantly do it in a public forum, that's in bad taste to me. I'm clenching my pearls. Maybe it's the Southerner in me, but baby, let me tell you something. The men down here, they ain't about to.
Yeah. That meeting definitely could have been an email.
We just
I'm sorry. Did you brush your teeth today, baby? Oh, I'm sorry. Did it rain today? Are your allergies acting up?
I don't think that's the same thing. See, I think you're going from one extreme to the other. The man didn't say he wanted her to come.
Oh, I'm gonna be real extreme. Extreme is 2 episodes, and we still talking about why she didn't reach out to you, sir. Do you have any other connections that you can attend to, sir? I'm so sorry that you are so like what you need from me. Like, this is one of those things where. Okay, so this is one of those things where you need to communicate your expectations of your expectations of whomever you're dating to those people. If you are one of those people who like you need affirmations, like constant affirmation, then you need to articulate to her about that. Like, you need to articulate that to her. I'm sorry, I just messed it up, but y'all know what I'm saying. Like, geez. Like, that's too much. I got so much shit going on in my life. I'm sorry. Did you take your temperature today, sir?
Yeah, I feel like he could have just, checked it for what it was and said, okay, you didn't check on me. All good. I'm going to move forward and keep it moving and grooving. There's no need for you to confront. And I'm sure that production might have told him, you should go over there and ask her why she didn't talk to you or whatever. And if he bit that line, that was on him. But at the end of the day, people don't always have to tell you exactly what to do, right? You should be able to look at the cues and say, okay, it's the writing's on the wall. I'm off of it, and just go move. Period.
And I saw all I needed to see. I'm just done. What you done with, sir? I'm just done. She didn't call. I'm so sorry if you're the cutest man in your town. If you were Mr. Miami High and you are so accustomed to everyone catering to you, the only son in your family. I don't know what his background is, but that was just too much for me. Like, I'm a grown ass woman. I got a whole life. Like, did you think to check on me? Maybe I was having an anxiety attack today and was buried in work and kids and life and the show. And I'm not saying I don't believe, not now, in all honesty, if and someone could correct me, if he was really like on his deathbed or sick, like really, really devastatingly ill, that's one thing. But he right here complaining
He
about
had
who worked up on him.
No, even
At this point, we
yeah, he
all
had COVID. No, I feel like even during my season, people do get upset because they'll be like, "Oh, I didn't hear from so and so since so and so. They didn't check."
Hold on, real quick. Sorry guys, let me interrupt. Sharice, I don't know what's going on with your connection, but you're real staticky. Like it sounds really bad. Yeah, it's bad. Can y'all hear it too, or is it just me?
No, it's
Yeah,
static.
just put your antenna up on your cell phone.
Maybe if you log out and come back, Sharice. Hello? Testing.
Hello, 1, 2.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's so much better.
Okay, hold up. I don't have enough signal to get camera. Okay, is it my go?
Yes, you can go ahead, Sharice, since
I feel like I lost my train of thought, but I think we were talking about Andre.
Yes.
About the not checking on him. I think because he had COVID, maybe, and like, you know, it is a thing where when you're in the process, it's funny how everyone checks on you and call you, but the minute you're out of the process, it's like out of sight, out of mind. So I think that it was, you know, it's true. You do. You get out of sight, out of mind. If you weren't really making those connections, then what's the point of keeping in contact?
Right.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, now really be, go ahead, go in on me. I give you permission, go in on me. But here's the thing. If you're going to give me lukewarm connection feelings, and you think that I need to accept that as all that, and then you be mad when I don't reciprocate, then what you mad for? Like, you giving me lukewarm stuff. Like, I'm sure if she had known he was hardcore feeling her at the level he was feeling her, because clearly he's responding like he's hurt, then I'm sure she would have been a little more attentive to his desires. However, he wanna be issuing out like the pineapple annihilators when everybody wants the cherry ones. No, you're not gonna half-ass me and then be mad when I half you back. No, sir. Goodbye.
Was someone getting ready to speak? Was it Sharice? Were you getting ready to say something else? I'm sorry. Nope.
No, I just thought that yeah, it was a bit blunt the way he walked off.
Yeah, because he was butthurt. He was in his feelings. He was in his feelings. My thing is, he was in his feelings because of how she responded. But then it just made me feel like if he was that upset and if he was that in his feelings, like he could have had a phone conversation with her. Like, because he had already said it before, like last week, that she was the only person that didn't, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, you know, I don't know. He could have told her, or they could have talked about it. It just was like the deal and how big he made it on screen was just kind of like, was you just doing it for camera time? You trying to get a storyline? Like, what is it at this point? Because he was really upset. Maybe, like Really B said, she wasn't really feeling him, and he was really obviously feeling her, and it is what it is. But I just feel like if he was that butthurt about it, if he was really feeling her like that, as soon as he felt like he was getting better, like he would have been like, hey, because I know it's people that text me 2-3 times and I may not even respond, and then 2-3 days go by, they be like, are you still alive, Sabrina? I just want to let you know I still like you. And I haven't even responded to their last 10 texts. But
right.
You know what I'm saying? They're still going to show up. So, and he didn't show up at all for her. But like someone said, and at the end of the day, the humane thing to do, yes, was to be like, you good? Like, you know, but Tyrone?
I would like to know how many days went by from the announcement to him coming back.
That would be something.
That could have played a part. as well.
But see,
I just want
but
to say,
again, I was just gonna say bottom line is this, and I'm saying this because I know there's probably like the Dallas cast might be watching this or whatever. But bottom line is this: if production asks you to do some stupid shit, you don't have to do it. You have the right to say no. And
Right.
in that instance, I would have been like, look, I already know. I'm not going over here to have a conversation.
Right.
No, I know what it is. They tell you, but the audience doesn't know. You have to make it make sense on camera. Well, let them figure it out. Shit, I'm done.
Shout out to Monique King. Hey, Monique King.
I just want to say this, and y'all can say how y'all want to say and feel about it. But if it was one of us ladies on there and was like, oh, well, I'm mad at you because you ain't called me or check on me, then it will be an issue. Andre get a pass because what? If I was like, Tyrone, I had the flu last week. I'm mad at you because you ain't call and check on me. And we had a connection. Our PO. Then it'll be like, why she coming like that? Why she got an attitude? Why this? Why that? But because it's Andre, now we have a different standard by which we got to judge it. No, he's still giving emotional, salty. And I saw Valencia's comment like, Sabrina, you're going to have to scroll up to to highlight it. But Valencia said, well, Tommy said area grievances. Boo-boo! He said that last episode. We already on a whole nother week. Like, how long are we going to be airing this same issue?
But it's
just like we had issues
of scene, though.
We had three issues of Blake and Jeffrey, who said what to who. Now we here with the non-checkup. Like, who? No, this is just too damn much. Too much. I don't care if she didn't check on you. She has moved on, just like you need to move on. Count your blessings that you're here, because if it was one of our seasons when COVID was at its height, we wouldn't have even had the opportunity to come back. And you sitting here, coming on here, trying to, for whatever reason, make this lady look petty and insensitive. And I got a problem with always trying to make the Black lady, let's call it what it is, look insensitive and non-soft girl era. Bye.
Real quick, let's try to be a little bit more to where we don't use the C word, because YouTube be tripping y'all with the C word. So let's just call it the C word. And also too, for the record, Stacy, and I had to think about it too, because this was a cliffhanger from last week. Andre walked in on that scene where the lunch dinner was. So it was like he mentioned it there when he was talking about his strongest and weakest connection. And then, of course, he walked over to her when they went to go start eating or whatever. So it really was the same scene. So I guess he, wanted to, get a little bit more clarity in why she hadn't contacted. He mentioned it.
Yeah. I think she was kind of referring to that, but still, like, it was a bit much. Like I said earlier, it could have been an email. You already aired her out publicly, and now you need another one-on-one session to get some more clarity. You didn't call. You didn't check on you. All right. You know what it is now.
Right. Exactly. And then my thing too is, why would I even want to know? Like, if you haven't called me, if you're not picking up my phone calls, if you're not, especially if we're not that invested in each other, I'm just going to be like, okay, like, I don't know. But he was just really, really upset. But anyway, I have nothing else to say about it anymore. I just thought that it was just kind of crazy. But
Agreed.
Does anybody and sorry guys, we've spent so much time on this one scene, but it was a big scene. A lot of stuff happened. I mean, we didn't even go into the part where Morgan was like, and if you don't do this, like, I'm gonna hurt you. Okay, like, we ain't even get into hello, am I frozen?
I hear you.
Oh, okay,
No,
okay,
I'm
okay.
good.
Tyrone just looked like he was frozen. I was like, oh my God, because my internet's been tripping. Yeah, because she said something about
Right. And then in the very next scene, he talks about how he how he had his savior there anyway. So why is he tripping?
Because he was lying, because that was his second, that was the second, that was the second
That's
coming
what he
of
said,
the
right?
saviors.
My
That
savior.
was the second, that was the second coming of the saviors.
Because according to my notes, that's the very next, that's the very next scene, the very next cut.
yeah.
Oh, my
Okay.
bad. We just skipped over Blake, but it's all right.
What, Blake and Sue-Ann? I mean, they didn't really say much. He just was like,
Nah,
he was
yeah.
just saying thank you for like standing up for me, and
I think it was one of those scenes where, the couples kind of confirm their connection with each other, but without saying it, because they gave away something. He was like, what did he say? There was one scene where he says, yeah, I just came in to check on you, as you would for me. And then, because they know what it is right now.
yeah. Well, we already knew Susu and Blake were together because they came matching in the same color. They were matching. Remember, she's in a relationship right now. Remember?
I'm colorblind.
Oh shoot, I forgot.
Wait, there's a relationship.
My bad, I forgot.
Did I miss the memo about a relationship?
Yeah, when they had to kiss, she said, "Now I got a whole boyfriend."
Girl,
I just noticed I just noticed the same yellow outfit from episode 5 in the confessionals.
You know that was one of her pickup interviews, if that's the case.
No, she looked good in it. That's why I noticed.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then I was like, oh man, I've seen that.
Oh yeah, she absolutely looked beautiful. But that was a pickup interview because it was for
Yeah. Oh
2
yeah.
episodes.
Oh yeah.
I was like, that's definitely a pickup.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, guys. So moving along, anyone have anything else to say about this lunch scene? No, I think we pretty much hit everything. All right. So the next scene we have Sue-Ann, who goes over to Anthony's house. He is cooking her lunch. I think it's lunch. He tells her that she is on his list, but there are some other women who actually stand out more than others. And she like, what you talking about, Willis? Like, what about me? I ain't standing out. So she is really like in her feelings. There is pretty much an awkward silence where she's eating her green beans. I don't know if you guys remember that, but it was very awkward because I'm sitting here with my phone, and you guys know I take my screenshots with my phone, and I was like this, waiting to take a picture, but I'm like, did my screen freeze? But no, it was just an awkward moment.
Sabrina, I'm just jumping in because you said you can't see the notes. I think there's 2 scenes that we do need to talk about though. And those involve Marcia and Morgan and the conversation they had with Anthony, which adds to like my frustration about the show.
Oh, okay. Marcia and Morgan are having a conversation about how Anthony is not aggressive enough, how women want to be pursued, and for him to not spread himself thin. That's the notes, my quick notes I got on it.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
So this is the frustrating part about the show, where you have to navigate how you feel about people, but they still want you to be truthful. But you need to be truthful enough or like people enough to have a connection to stay on the show, but you don't want to be lied to. And then you also don't want to get voted off. And it seems like everyone is trying to do the same thing right now, figure out what's going on. And Anthony's, to me, it just seems like he's trying to be respectful, trying to let them know that he may have a connection somewhere else, and to just try to take it for what it is. And it's coming off as if they don't like that, especially Morgan. And then Marcia mentioned something about Anthony going after the low-hanging fruit. So now I'm like, who is she calling low-hanging fruit? Because, since he ain't coming after them, And why can't they just accept that for what it is?
You know what though, Tyrone? There's always been a lot of BS on the lady side where they want men to come and pursue them or whatever, but at the same time, they never give any indications on if they feeling any of these dudes. I mean, other than like, like Blake and Sue Ann and like, from my season, Joy and Clifton, you start seeing like a one set here or there, and that normally forms at the beginning. But a lot of times these women are not communicating to the men, hey, you know what, I'm interested in you. And then, they come in pursuit mode. Now, other than Tony with the razzle dazzle, who's just, spreading himself all over the place. I, you know what I'm saying? Other than him, you don't really see that.
But even he's not saying it. He's not saying it. She had to make him say that he likes her, right? Didn't that feel forced?
Yeah.
Multiple times. And I think one of the reasons why I'm bringing it up is because the title of the show was pretty much because of this scene, how the queens don't chase, but it doesn't feel that way.
Right. True story.
And it's very frustrating. And this is one of the things that, gets to me about the show, because when you are ready, if you're ready too soon, you will get voted off. And if you're not ready at all, for some reason, you get to stay because you have all of these different connections. But then that also means that you will most likely end up with no one, because at some point, they're going to choose. And it's just frustrating because I feel Anthony's frustration.
And my thing is here. I feel like, that realistically, and I say this all the time, right? And pardon my analogy, but it's pimps and hoes, right? And I'm not saying that, and I'm just saying because the motto is, okay, you got to go out here and pimp these chicks and see how many you can, get on your squad. And the girls is doing the same thing to the men. And then it's like, okay, let me spoon feed them all, and it's the same thing. I hate that motto. Like it should be find your person and then let's follow that journey, and whatever. But you have this, nah, I want you to have 4 or 5, 3, 6, women at one time and you good, but the other people that found somebody that they really like, they out of here. Like that, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And then, at this point, everyone's talking, right? Everyone's talking. And it seems like some conversations are getting to the other ladies. And you can hear Morgan say, I'm seeing you, I'm hearing you, I'm hearing, and basically tighten it up, That's what I got from it. And he's like, all right, I got you. But he don't tighten up at all.
And she said, I'm going to hurt you. She said, I'm going to hurt you.
Yeah. And I feel like she's been saying that for weeks now.
Yeah. But I don't know. If I was a man and if I just had a woman keep telling me, you better act right, or you better get some act right, or you better do what I say, or like it's and then every chance he gets, he's like, I just don't know about it. Like I really like her, but she just, I don't know. Like it's
she need to show me something.
Yeah.
And I feel like she's doing the same thing. She's doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
That's just so stupid. Like, why can't you just? That's what makes me just aggravated. Like, if you like somebody, you like them, and just be with that person and call it a day. Why do you have to?
Yeah.
I mean, like Blake and Suzanne, right? Them two are together, or per the show, they rocking hardcore. They rocking hardcore. Why couldn't they just have their journey be followed and see what their story looks like at the end? Why do they have to go and
that's a different
destroy
show.
that? Right, but that's what I'm saying. Why do they have to destroy it? It's called Ready to Love. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not Ready to Thug. I mean,
But that's a
you
different
know,
show though. You're talking about a different setup. The setup of this
it's
show
still the
is you
same.
date 10 other people and see, you know what I mean? I understand what you're
I think it's
saying.
still,
I understand what you're saying, but I mean, like, that's not the show.
yeah, but that's the thing though. So we know that the show in all essence is oxymoronic, because if we're looking at it from a perspective of people trying to find their person, but when they find their person, they've done something wrong based off of the guidelines of the show. So now they leave. So you know, they're touting the success of the relationship, but true in nature, this is not set up for relationship success.
Right. Because at one point they want you to be open and honest, right?
Right.
But then they want you to be aggressive. But then because you're open and honest and you're letting people know I only have 2 connections, now you got 5 people that's going to vote you off because you ain't feeling them and you become their
Right.
bottom person.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, are we done with Morgan, Marcia, and Tony? Yes, no, maybe so. All right. So we're gonna move on to the next scene. All right, we're gonna move on to the next scene, and I mean, I kind of already read it, and we talked about how Sue went over to Anthony's house. He's fixing lunch, and she has to come and help fix lunch. And pretty much she says, he says that there's other women who stand out more than others, and then there's an awkward silence. She says that he pretty much missed an opportunity. Sue says that she doesn't feel that she doesn't feel Anthony's sexual energy. Anthony says that he wants to dance and he wants her to tell all her friends about him. So,
Kudos, Anthony. Kudos.
I was getting ready to say that.
I didn't feel any chemistry from them. Like, it was paint drying.
It was so forced.
Yeah.
It felt like a blind date, but you trying not to be an a-hole about it.
Right.
Yeah.
So
like. Bad.
So I love this particular shot right here, because this just goes to show you the mess that production will come up with. You know, just to shovel a little bit of coals on to your ass. So hopefully this is not Anthony's house. Hopefully this is a rental property or an Airbnb or something, his sister's house or whatever, because if not, I'm confused by this. I need to know what this is all about.
I think it's pretty clear.
Yeah, was it bad? I mean, is this bad?
Yeah, I mean,
I
don't know. Like for me,
if I showed up at a dude's house for the first time, I wouldn't find that funny.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, if you, even if it's something that is, you know, just kind of playful, you might want to roll that up and put it away until they get to know who you are.
Well, we actually have Anthony in the chat.
Oh, good. Yeah, I need answers on that, bro.
Yeah, it's from a song.
Oh, I don't know what song that's from, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know the song either. So okay, it's from a song. All right, cool.
Oh my God. Anthony says that, let me take this off. He says that, I'm assuming he's saying poorly edited folks. I think that's what he's saying.
Okay.
It's because I don't know your names individually.
Oh, so the date wasn't as boring as it looked. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
okay. So then my first statement in me saying this is the lengths that production will go through to create the mess I guess is what we're looking at.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, I thought the whole date was, my thing is when I did my live watch party, I was like, why is she there? Like, I just was trying to figure out, like, out of all of his connections, like, why was Sue there? I'm like, because he has a stronger connection with Cynthia, and Cynthia should have been the one to have, you know, been invited for lunch or whatever. But I think he does mention about how he needed to be more intentional, and the stuff that they were saying to him at the lunch, he was trying to take everything into consideration, and he was like, okay, I'm gonna try to be more intentional. But to just like it, to have to pick one of them to come to your home, I think he should have picked Cynthia. Sue said, what was it? I don't think it was last episode. Was it last episode or episode before last? She was like, I feel like I have a connection with Anthony. He just hasn't told me yet. I'm like, what? How does that make sense?
Yeah, it's
I was
to
like,
me,
what?
to
Yeah.
me, I think they gotta get her to the end. So there's gotta be some ambiguity about a second connection, you know, to keep it going for another week, just so they can
Like,
make it
make
to the
it make
friends
sense.
date, make it to the ex's date, or else they're gonna vote her off the same way they want to vote off Blake. You know,
So
um,
I could tell you something. I could
Uh-oh.
tell you this, and I bet you, and Anthony, if you in the chat, wink one time, bro. If you in the chat, here's what happened. Production said, okay, yeah, you know, we want to set it up. You know, they come over, you know, they light up the whole house or whatever. And he probably told them who he wanted to date, and they sent Sue in. I don't think that he requested her to come over there. And when she showed up, he probably was caught off guard because he had the little romantic table and all that stuff out, the wine and you know, and he probably was thinking it was one of his connections, and she came through the door, and his energy.
He said,
yeah, I
he
think
said, wink, wink, wink.
Okay,
I think
boom,
because I think we've seen that
exactly.
already. You know, I think
He
we've
said,
seen
wink,
that.
wink, wink.
And then I think for us as viewers, it ain't any other dates is not going to make much sense at this point because we
Right.
already know who their main connections are,
Right.
and we
Yeah, it didn't
probably
make sense
already
to me
tired
that
of
it was 2 a.m. either. Yeah, that didn't make.
Right.
But that's why the board. I mean, again, I know Anthony said there's editing, but that's why the date was boring. Because if that's not who he wanted there, and she doesn't have a real connection with him, what are we doing here, people? And it kind of goes back to what Tyrone just said. You want him to be more aggressive with someone that he hasn't shown any interest in. You know what I mean? Well, I could say any interest, but we know that's not one of his top connections. So you want him to be more aggressive with somebody he don't want to be aggressive with. Like, that's crazy.
But I feel like this is what happened. Like, I'm sure Paul, Tyrone, Sabrina, like this reminded me of my date with Ron, right? Like, me and Ron, cool. But I was like, why am I here with Ron? Like, I showed up and I'm like, why am I here with Ron? Like, we know I don't have a connection with him. He's feeling my girl on the show. And like the entire date was talking about her. Like, it was so awkward because I knew that was her interest. Like, I knew like Ron and I at that time, like, we didn't have any interest in each other. So it was like very awkward. So I know for me, like, if y'all looking at body language and all this, like, I know how y'all be reading everything. But I remember, like, I just felt so awkward. He was like, a little birdie told me, you know, Stacey Creole, so she likes seafood. What birdie told you that? No, I had gotten, and I'm sure this applies to the ladies and the men in the scenes that's similar to this. We get all cute and we thinking, okay, I've been requesting a date with this guy or this girl. Okay, and finally they done hit me up and they didn't tell me who it's with. Because normally you might have a 2-second lead on it, and you just get an address and you show up and you walk in and you like, it's him.
That has happened to me. That has happened to me. She said, if I'd known it was you, I'd have worn a mouse.
I would have worn some damn tights and said I wasn't hungry. Because if you're going to act like a little birdie told me, then at least make the food. Don't order it. Like, I could have had my food warm. Shit, you could have made us some grilled cheeses. I would have let you get a pass on that. Like, we could have had a date and talked about your connections. But so in Anthony's defense, y'all know this was one of those moments where both of them were probably like fish out of water. Like, I didn't want to see him, and he didn't want to see her. Like, we're just like, okay, make it make sense to us personally. Because like when you're going through the process, and this is what I love about Sabrina and having this forum where y'all can have like Really Be, and then you have Sharice and all of us who were there, we can tell y'all like this was hella awkward. And I'm sure from the moment y'all saw the welcome mat, this shit was about to be awkward because it didn't make like, why are we both here?
Right. So
can I make a request? Because I feel like the old lady in the room. Can y'all tell me what song that's from and what artist? Now I feel like lady, but
oh my gosh. Go scroll up, Really Be. I done said it, Roddy Rich.
Roddy Rich. Yeah.
Please don't wear
I don't know nothing about no Roddy Rich. I don't know that boy. Yeah. I don't know that boy.
I was already on it.
First of all, I saw the mat on Etsy and I was like, ooh, I need this so bad. I need this so bad. But then I was like, you know, like I live in a building with other tenants that might not look like me. So I was like, I don't want to offend them, and I don't want them sending in complaints about the one little
do it anyway.
Alienated
like
person
go against the grain.
Here.
Yeah, I definitely
wanted it. I also, I'm sorry, I know y'all know I be digressing. I'm sorry, Sabrina, but I also, if y'all look on Etsy, I also have this little box. Y'all should get it for your bathroom. It says like cute cheeks are clean cheeks. It's like so stinking cute. So you put it on the back of your toilet, and with your toiletries on it. Mine says nice cheeks. And I have like the little wipes and the little toiletries on it, like behind the toilet. So anyway, Etsy, I'm sure Mark Anthony, you got it. I mean, Anthony, all of y'all. So many of y'all on this season.
I was going to say, Sue-Ann was on the date with the group date with Anthony and Cynthia and Mercedes, which was actually a good date for Anthony. And Anthony Wink, if you already knew that Sue-Ann has already kissed Blake by this point, you know, because you were on that date when they kissed.
Ooh,
so
I thought about Sabrina.
Yeah, so girl that was somebody else in my house.
Sabrina,
but they did get to highlight her whip though. She had a nice little pink Maserati. Was it pink?
I would have highlighted my Vaseline because y'all know my bougie self. I'll say Vaseline. My Vaseline. Like if I knew you were kissing other people, I would have had some Vaseline present. Like, oh, moist lips.
Right. See?
All right, hold on 1 second, because I want to hear what Really Be was getting ready to say. You said you thought about me when what? Really Be?
Oh, when they showed Mark Anthony this episode kissing both of his dates, I thought about I said, ooh, Sabrina would have had a fit. I thought about you when I was watching that episode.
Honey. I was like, look at him spreading all his bodily fluids all over the place, just throwing his
That's what they brought him in?
And it didn't bother me at all. It's so funny. Like I was like, ooh, I said, this would bother Sabrina, and I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care.
Everybody's different.
That's what they brought him in for, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's good. That's good. But I would have been devastated if it was me and he was kissing me, and then I watched it back and he was kissing her, and her. I would have.
Oh yeah, all that swap.
I'm just so funny about. I would have been like, I would have called like my doctor and I'd have been like, I need to set an appointment. I need to make sure, like, I need to get some tests for.
Oh, dang.
Everything is okay. I'm sorry. It's
Oh my
just me.
God.
Everybody's different.
Ooh, that is funny to me.
Lord have mercy.
And
All right,
he
so
u-
are
he
Yeah.
used. I was gonna say he used the proper salesperson technique in both of those kisses, where you just sit there and you just wait them
yeah,
out.
he did with his eyes, just batting his eyelashes. He sure did. He sure did. He knew exactly what he was doing. I said, look at Mark Anthony. I see him. Anyway,
He definitely wasn't like Lyndon, like, oh, is this the moment where I need to lean in and kiss you?
But he did it right after she mentioned her Crohn's disease. Like you're not
Well,
gonna
Crohn's
take that into
disease-
consider.
No. But Crohn's, like, I have a cousin that
Hold on, but
struggles.
can we get
No,
there first?
I was
Okay,
ready to
we'll
say,
get there.
I don't want to
I know
talk
what
about
it
it
is.
yet.
I know what it is.
We
Okay.
about to talk about it though.
And I think it's fair. I think that was like an emotional, affectionate kiss. Like, oh, like, babe, I got you. Like, I was here for it.
Okay, we gonna get there. Does anybody have
That's why I be
anything?
working on y'all.
Does
No,
anybody have anything else to say about
No. I
all right.
just want to get the last word. Just want to say
So
it looked mad uncomfortable, and it seemed like the whole date situation was a little bit off-putting. I think maybe on both sides, you know, probably, you know, when I looked at Anthony's energy, it was super off, and I was like, the producers got him. Knew it. All right, but that's it.
yeah, well, shout out to Anthony. Anthony was in the chat. Anthony, if you still here, thank you so much for tuning in to our panel. And you guys in the chat, make sure you say hello to Anthony. And this is the Anthony that we're talking about on Ready to Love Miami this season. So shout out to you, Anthony. Okay, so moving forward from that date, we have Jeffrey and Mark Anthony. They do meet up. Jeffrey tells Mark Anthony that she does have Crohn's disease and that he isn't, and he pretty much says that he isn't familiar with what that is. Jeffrey says that this is why she tries to always remain positive and have, you know, in a positive light because of the things that she goes through with the disease. They discuss about her children and how her children feel. And Jeffrey says, this is just confirmation for her because he wasn't just thinking about her. He was thinking about her kids as well. Like, you know, how do they feel like, you know, when you're sick and, you know, when you're going through your issues. And then after that, they do share a kiss. So Jeffrey and Mark Anthony, P.O.
So I'll say this, and I said this at the beginning. I like Jeffrey and I like Blake, not together, separately, right? Like, you know, on their own journeys. So this was one of those times where I actually got a chance to see Jeffrey be somewhat vulnerable in the softer side and, you know, just a little bit more of, you know, just kind of letting her hair down. And it was good to see that. I was hoping that at some point they would let that out because it was just so much mean girl swag that they was throwing at us. You know, and I'm like, there's got to be more to this, especially since, you know, she wasn't bottomed out and eliminated at this point. So I thought that was a super good moment for her. Mark Anthony, on the other hand, like I said, you know, look at his face. He's like, yo, you know, I'm here for the moment, baby. You know, and I don't know what's on the other side of that door. It just seems like he's checking in and he's probably playing to her comfort in this moment. And I think both of them have split reasons for the kiss. You know, his thing is, I'm gonna take advantage of this moment and hers is, oh, thank you for the comfort type of deal. I don't know. I don't really see her and Mark Anthony going anywhere, and I think that by the time the next ladies lounge hops around and they start talking about how he kissed other people, I think that's going to fizzle out. The end.
I agree with P.O. on that one. I think by the time the women get to talking and comparing notes and they find out that he kissed me, well, he kissed me too, well, he said this, well, he said that. Yeah, I know it don't take much, especially with the deeper and deeper it gets and people think they finding connections. She's going to be really hurt when she finds out that on the very, well, I don't know, editing, I don't know if it was the very next date, but when she finds out that on a date with somebody else, he did the same thing. Yeah, I definitely agree with Paul on that one. Like, he's already only there on a wing and a prayer anyway. It ain't gonna take much for them to be like, see, we shouldn't have saved him. And that's gonna be the end of it.
Right.
Mark Anthony out here selling dreams. That's what he's doing. He is. He's selling dreams, honey. Showing up. He's doing the right little things. I don't think he's sincere at all. I think he is playing the game and he's just playing it well, period.
You know what, Sabrina? In this episode, that was the first time I feel like I've been like empathetic towards Mark Anthony. And this was the first episode that I was like side-eyeing him, really. I don't know what I've said before, like my opinions of him before, because it's like in the moment. But this one, it really gave me thought and pause when she brought up like a real struggle. And I know like people devalue Crohn's and stuff. Like I have a cousin who's been hospitalized for days. Like sometimes people have to have, with Crohn's disease, sometimes people have to have surgery to remove parts of their colon. Like it can be really, really, really serious. Like I struggle with IBS, but I know my cousin, like even if he's like stressed, like if he has too much stress or, if his diet, we're in the South and I'm Creole. So we are seafood, we're spicy. So like I've seen him really, really struggle with this. So like for me, it was like, I was really looking at Mark Anthony and then y'all know, I got the little, what you call that thing? A little pliers next to my name. So I'm looking at comments. I'm trying to, and someone said earlier, like, isn't he in healthcare? Like we all, we got sidetracked because he's in pilot school, right? He's in healthcare. He's a nurse or something, right? So he should know exactly what Crohn's disease is. Like you should know what it is.
Yeah.
Now he probably not even going to pilot school, and he probably ain't no lab tech. He probably just chilling. That's what he doing. He just chilling. How you in the medical field and you don't know what that is? Stop. He's selling.
I mean, y'all know the wrong thing. You eat the wrong thing, or somebody stress you out too much, and you in the hospital for 3 days with Crohn's disease with a flare up. So I'm just saying, like
he can't do it. He don't even want nobody with kids. How he gonna date somebody with Crohn's disease?
But how you gonna date somebody with Crohn's disease with 3 kids? Don't Jeffrey have 3 kids?
Yes.
I just think what I think Mark Anthony likes and needs, he needs a cougar or a puma. Like that's what he likes.
Mm-hmm. He needs somebody.
That's what I feel like he is so easily like infatuated with, like older women, because I may or may not be a puma. So, like they be so infatuated with like the difference of us. They don't actually process the actual difference between us. So I don't know. I feel like this is like momentary infatuation, and I am in 100% agreement with you, Sabrina, because I'm just like, dude, like this is something serious, and she got kids. Like everything you said you didn't like, she got.
Exactly.
and you kissing her chin. Like, if you want to kiss me, sincerely kiss me. Don't kiss like where the hair grows.
Well, he kissing her and kissing Mercedes, he dang on sure gonna kiss her chin, her feet, and her fingers, and then he gonna kiss on Mercedes' neck and probably a hair strand. Cause he putting his bodily fluids everywhere. He's spreading. That's who Morgan needed to like.
That kiss was dry. It was no bodily fluids.
I'm sorry,
So,
that was frosted flakes dry. No, ma'am.
Tyrone.
Was it last week or the week before where we were mentioning about him just being there to bag? And I know in the trailer he didn't get a good look.
Not to bag.
Yeah, we mentioned that because we mentioned the different hunting styles that the guys are displaying.
No,
And we were talking about the lazy lion. We were talking about the three-legged antelope, you know, and which women were being perceived as the weak one. Even on the boat when he was talking about being with one shorty and then you might be with another shorty later on, you know, when they were arguing about the decision to keep people. And then that's when I first got an idea that he may not be as sincere as, you know, some of the other men.
You talking about Mark Anthony?
Mark Anthony, yes. Mm-hmm. And then there was a situation where, you know, it was disclosed to him that Jeffrey had 3 kids. And then I asked the question, does he truly understand what it means to be with someone with 3 kids?
Yep.
And then this situation comes up where she's being vulnerable, letting you know that she has this, you know, medical issue. And it's to a point where she's disclosing it because obviously she feels like, you know, it may go over the edge. You know what I mean? When it comes to being with someone, it's about time for her to choose. So let me get all of this out so I can truly figure out if this person wants to be with me for me or not. Mm-hmm. But then that's his moment to take a step back and be like, oh man, like what is that? Help me get a better understanding of that. But to just follow that up with the kiss, to me, just gives false hope. Unless he truly understands what that is, and that's ultimately what he wants and is willing to do. But to be kissing someone else, you know, in literally the very next scene, it wasn't a good look. It makes us question his sincerity. But then it also makes me feel like, you know, that's what he was there for. They brought him in to be the ringer. He was the eye candy. And he essentially, you know, he doesn't have any rules to play by, pretty much. And that's what it's given. My ex had MS. I understand what it's like to live with someone that has a medical ailment. It's a big deal. And I'm just wondering if he understands, you know, the seriousness of it all.
I just don't understand how somebody goes from not wanting to date anybody with kids to somebody with 3 kids. I don't know.
Yeah, he doesn't know how serious it is. You know why? Because he don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, guys. I haven't eaten dinner, so I was eating my dinner. You guys know I don't. I be present, but I was eating. I'm sorry, but yeah, like I was feeling like that about Mark Anthony, but it's just to the point now where I'm getting like how I was feeling about him 2 and 3 episodes ago. Like he's just showing me and confirming, like when he was like, and that's why I'm like, is he even a pilot? Is he even, because when he was talking to Mercedes, he goes, because, you know, I didn't think like I could be that or whatever. And then I was kind of like, you know, like I want to do that, but I ain't even know like how I could do that. Be a pilot. And then he said, and then he asked somebody and they was like, Google it.
The VA will pay for your flight time. We'll pay for your training. I don't know if
But
he's
my thing
military,
is, you
but
needed somebody to tell you that if you want to be a pilot, you gotta go to pilot school. That's you needed. Okay.
Right. And he was like, so I started going to pilot school. So my thing is are you really a pilot? Like, are you? Because I don't feel like he is that bright.
But you know what?
Wow.
Like Sabrina. Like no. Like Sabrina, how you just said what you just said. Like how you can like flip your attention and like just so quickly. Like you couldn't tell Tyrone or PO that. You know what I mean? Like they're not gonna change up what they're doing to have a quick another interest or a quick another come up, like a brief come up. You know what I mean? You can't say, hey Tyrone, hey PO, hey, I made $1 million on this, or I made 300,000 on this. And they'll be like, oh, okay, let this be my new interest. They're not gonna do that. Just like change code. I think that all of us don't realize what you just said, but what you just said was so applicable in this moment, like how people can change real quickly to suit whatever the momentary like desires are. And I think that is touching on what he's going through, and maybe it's his inexperience. I don't know.
He's a chameleon. He acting like a stripper. Period.
Right, but me dating, a lot of us women, like and men dating, we want something definite. We want somebody 10 toes down. We want somebody who's like, okay, this might not be rocking right now, but we got here and let's see where it goes. Like we don't might be like, oh, the rainbow is here. Okay, the pot of gold under the rainbow is there. Like that's really telling. The other thing that I wanted to say is this is the first time we've actually have seen Jeffrey vulnerable and sharing a piece of her, which I appreciated because before she's been so matter of fact. And a lot of the women so far we have seen has been like have been so like matter of the fact, and we haven't gotten into like a lot of the women like soft girl, like who are you, what do you go through, like things like us as viewers we can relate to. So I appreciated this moment with Jeffrey because like just me personally, I'm like, oh damn, I'm relating to this. It's not just something you can say, oh, I have 3 kids, oh, I have 1 kid, oh, I have no kids. That to me at this point is superficial because we can figure out a way to work with those things. But to talk about like real life struggles and like somebody that can pull up their boots, their pants, have their boots in and dig through the trenches, I think that's important. And I also think that it was important because Jeffrey has always been about business thus far. I think this was important for her. I think that personalized her. And I think that helped me, this moment helped me to relate and understand Jeffrey a little bit better. Because, you know, before I wasn't giving her any passes. It was just like transactional, you know? Like sometimes when women, we give these transactional facts, oh, I have 3 kids. Oh, I have this. Oh, I do this as an occupation. Oh, and honestly, it goes for men. But I feel like when you actually talk about who you are, your struggles, where you are, what grounds you, like why you are like you are, I appreciate that with Jeffrey.
I agree. I appreciate her being vulnerable and opening up. And I feel like she wanted to open up because she really likes Mark Anthony. Like she wanted to, because she could have shared that. She has like a bunch of other connections, but she shared it with him. So I feel like that, you know, he was of importance to her, and that's why she wanted to tell him. But it's just unfortunate because I really don't think
he missed it. I feel like he missed it. I also feel like Jeffrey opened up at this moment because she had to. She had to.
Yeah.
She had to show a little something about herself that was more than Blake is an asshole. Susu is a gopher. Like she had to show more than that. So I feel like this moment was necessary for Jeffrey. I also felt like it made me relate to her too. You know, if I'm gonna be fair, that's what it was. Because before we haven't seen anything like that we can relate to, like other people can relate to. Like everybody doesn't have kids, or everybody doesn't have 3 kids. I'm a person with 3 kids. You know what I mean? So I know everybody's not going to relate to my journey. So I'm glad that she, for whatever purpose it was, whatever the reason is behind it, I'm glad that she opened up a little bit to where we can see that it's not like this combative, it's not this tit for tat, it's not this strategic Jeffrey, that it's like, oh, okay, like, oh, it was like a humanizing Jeffrey, and I appreciated that.
Yeah. Well, let me bottom line this and say that my bottom line anyway. Jeffrey, yes, can't wait to see more of you know what else is going to come out in her, you know, her vulnerable side. And I think like at this point, Mark Anthony, he needs to go on Tinder. The end.
Mm-hmm.
Tinder or Bumble? Because I heard Bumble was a hookup one.
Tinder.
So
What is it free? I'm about to go on that. Is it free?
There is a difference.
I've always been scared because y'all know I'm 5'3" and I be scared somebody gonna try to kidnap me, and I still need a booster seat to drive. So which one is it, Tinder or is it Bumble, like the hookup?
Tinder's the hookup one. Bumble, the woman has to accept.
Oh.
For what I was told.
Allegedly.
If I got to pay for it, I don't want to do it. If I got to pay for it,
I ain't about to pay for nothing.
And Hinge.
Free stuff.
And Hinge is pretty decent too, from what I was
told. Is Hinge free? Is Hinge
No.
free? No,
I mean, there is a free version.
Yeah,
it is a free level, but if you want to, like, the same thing with Bumble, there's a free level, but if you want all the bells and whistles, of course.
Mm-hmm. Like they'll be like, here is your match, 6'3", tall, dark, works out, great career, single, da 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 da. But you got to pay $19.99 in order to message him.
And then when you get that $19.99, they send you Kevin Hart.
You know what? At this point in my stage, in my life, I'll take Kevin Hart. I'm just trying to take anybody that's gonna treat me good at this point. Like I just need somebody that's gonna treat me good, got a job.
Right.
That's not gonna. Yeah. Anyway, but so a lot of people wanted to know what I was eating. I was eating salmon, rice and spinach for my dinner. I've been busy all day today, so that was my dinner. Thank you for being patient. You guys know I try not to have my camera off like that, and I try to show it for you guys. So thank you for being patient. Yeah. So does anyone have anything else to say about Jeffrey and Mark Anthony? Because right after this, we're literally moving into Jeffrey and Mark Anthony and Mercedes. So
back to back slobbing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Mercedes meets Mark Anthony for a date. They talk about Mark Anthony and him wanting to fly planes. And Mercedes wants to also get her pilot's license. They have flirtation conversation. We learned that Mercedes can't wink. Mark Anthony tells her all the things that he likes about her. And he says that she is cute. She makes him laugh, and then they share a kiss.
Okay. First things first. I hate that production makes it look so easy. Like it looked like he just pulled up, and now he's up in her face or whatever. Now, Undisputed is back to back, so it's like he never even wiped off yet, and he's over there with Mercedes. You know. After what's her face? Jeffrey. So, and they did that, showing him to be the ladies' man or whatever, or not ladies' man, but you know, being a player type of situation. That's how they're selling it to us. I feel like this here, you should not be just having a frivolous kiss with somebody. Like you don't just walk up to people and kiss them like it's a handshake, right? Now you done kissed 2 girls already, like real ones, and so for me, like he's playing the game, he's playing it well. But I think when you start to get physical with these women take physicality like that to another level. So they're like, oh, he kissed me. Oh my God. Like, and he's just like, man, yeah, I kissed her and I kissed her too. I mean, it ain't about nothing. I be kissing all the time. Like, that's the kind of energy that I'm getting. And I mean, it's probably cool. Like, I'd love to go have some beers with the kid,
Right.
I missed it.
Years.
Mark Anthony. Holla at me.
Hey, Paul's like, call me, bro. No, in all seriousness, I think, obviously Jeffrey has already experienced a lot. Mercedes is willing, to put that experience in. I think Mercedes is going to be a great wife for someone. I honestly don't know if Mark Anthony truly understands the seriousness of the conversations that he's having with these 2 ladies in particular, and what the kisses mean when it comes to, confirmation on him understanding, or him understanding what they're conveying to him, and he just follows it up with a kiss, and they can, take that as confirmation that he understands when he may not understand the brevity of any of it. Like Paul said, he's like doing what he was there to do. Earlier, I said I felt like he was there to bag. Look like he's doing that. This may be the first back-to-back kisses, right? Shout out to him. Said if I was his age and we was able to hang out, hey, I'll have some beers with him too.
Like Mark Anthony was like, next. Who's next? Golly. And then you don't know what he doing with his mouth when he not on the show, is what I'm saying.
Oh, man.
But I do like we got to see some spunk out of Mercedes too. She got some, she got a little bit of, I don't want to say the wrong word, but y'all know what I'm saying.
No, I don't.
She went back for it. She double clutched it. She's like, no, you gonna give me enough.
Yeah, we got to see a more, what's the word I'm looking for? A less conservative side of her.
Yeah, because you saw her kissing on somebody. You ain't never seen her kiss on nobody.
No, it was more. It was the jokes. It was the body language. It was her eyes. It was a lot there.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this picture right here. She grabbed this dude by his chin. Was like, come here. Like, got the grip. She gripped him. That's pretty aggressive.
Yeah, I noticed that. And then I also, go ahead. I also noticed the way Suan grabbed Anthony by the back of his head too, in the at his house. I peeked it, but okay.
So you going? So Ty, you're going with me where. So I like I said, like this is maybe like a cultural difference for me. Like I know, people think Miami is in the South, but I'm a different kind of Southerner. So this is different for me. Like this aggression, like I want someone to grab me like that. I'm not about to do you like that until after we've done it, like kiss maybe 2 times. Like on a 3rd time, I'm gonna be like, hey babe, come on, bring it in, babe. So like this was new for me. Is this something I need to? All right, Sabrina, you know how to do a poll?
Oh,
Do we
hold on.
do me and Sabrina need to change up our game? Like, do we need to start grabbing and leaning in first? Or are we okay, like, on the third kiss? Like,
No, here's the thing. Here's
I'm so
here's all you have.
like,
here's how you can make it easy.
No,
Let me just say
before you finish, Paul, let me just say, before you finish, like, remember, I'm dating and I'm trying to figure it out. We were here, Sabrina, and well, Sharice is gone, but we were here. So, like, for me, this is different for me because, like I'm accustomed to a different culture than what we're seeing here. Like, the men are the women and the women are the men. So this is something, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way or a judgmental way, but an observatory way. So for me, like, is this something that I need to figure out or learn or what? Like, what?
Yeah, so here's what you do. When you're with a guy and you guys are with each other, when he stops talking, you stop talking and just look at him. And then watch what he do.
That's what we do. That's what we do in the South. Like, I am a lady. Like, I'm a lady. So, like, maybe like I said, like, it's, and especially like maybe like Sabrina, you know what I mean? Like, us, like, it's another pressure that comes on us because, like, we're like, we own businesses, we do these things. So, like, for us, we have to, like, really allow men to understand, like, hey, you're the man, like, we want you to take the lead. So I'm just confused here. Like, I'm not on the first kiss, probably not even on the second kiss. I'm not gonna initiate it. And if I'm wrong, y'all correct me. Like, y'all help me. Y'all really help me. Like, I don't mind being wrong here. But
a lot of people are saying that they're in their 30s, so they're a lot younger than us.
Everybody is not, but everybody's not like 30 to 30. Like, if you're saying like you're in your 30s, I'm gonna say 30 to 32. Like, a woman after 32, like, we're all the same age.
No, y'all ain't.
All I know is that.
No, y'all ain't.
I was here to say 32. I don't know, Stacey. I don't want to be compared to no 32-year-old. What? That's
no,
like,
I said after 32 because I feel like by 33, like, we should, as women, like, we should get it. Like, it's not like we're not trying to figure it out anymore. Like, we should have our standards. We've done that. We've been there. We've done that. We've had our experiences. But I just feel like this Miami life has me, like, looking like, shit, am I doing everything wrong? Like, it has me, because I just feel like I'm not aggressive like this. Like, really, like, I feel like I'm watching the Miami season and I'm like in a culture shock because I feel like it's like role reversal. Like, the things that the women do, that's my expectations of a man, and the things that how the men are presenting themselves, Southern woman. Like,
when there's too many fish in the sea, then you got to learn how to get caught.
I ain't trying to get caught.
I don't know, because with me in 32, I feel like the woman that I was at 32 is not the woman that I am now. I mean, that's a whole 15 years difference for me. I cannot put a 32-year-old like on my level. I can't do it. There's no way.
But I feel like we can put a 33-year-old on a level. It's not 15 years. It's not 15 years to me.
At least 40. At least 40. I would say that I can probably see a woman on my level. She would at least have to be 40.
So what's the question? Should you be aggressive or not? Is that the question? Yes.
I'm gonna let
There's
Stacey.
no question. I don't even know. I'm confused.
Oh.
Let me stop my camera real quick. Let me catch up.
Okay.
She's gonna go. Yeah.
Moving along.
Yeah, because she was talking about doing the poll and stuff like that. Because I get it, like, because we were talking about how Mercedes grabbed his face, and Stacey was saying how she's a little old-fashioned. Like, she was like, she would have to wait like a few dates before she would go and lean into her man and be like, "Give me a kiss, baby." You know what I mean? So she was saying how she felt like the roles should have been reversed. It should have been Mark Anthony going and grabbing her and, you know what I mean, pulling her closer to him.
Yeah.
But
They
you know
both
what?
wanted that.
Somebody,
It's all good.
Yeah, that's what I'm
somebody
saying.
in
Yeah,
the
that's
chat.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Really, B, what were you saying?
I knew what it was.
Sorry. Somebody in the chat was saying that they use tongue, so they don't think it was their first kiss. And I feel like if that wasn't their first kiss, then maybe she was confident in leaning in if it wasn't the first time that they've kissed. And I think that could be a valid point too, that you feel more comfortable if that's not your first rodeo. You know what I'm saying?
Because they do
How
be
you gonna
meeting off the screen.
Yeah, but how you gonna be tongue kissing on TV? They don't even
Why
allow you
not?
to do that in Hollywood.
Come on,
Yes,
Paul.
they do. They do it all the time.
Nah, in Hollywood, they teach you a certain way to kiss, and it is top lip, bottom lip, and you don't.
Okay,
This is reality TV.
I be singing tongue.
Well, how about this? If they did do tongue
repeat
kisses,
that.
then maybe.
What's that?
I need Paul to repeat the roles. What, top lip, bottom lip, like what? Like what are we talking about?
Yeah, I'll show you next time I see you. I'll show you.
Oh, hold on.
No, not in like real life, but not like real. But I'll show you what I mean.
Okay,
what they mean.
Oh, you're gonna show. Say, hold on. What'd you say? What'd you say, P.O.?
I didn't say. I said nothing.
Right. This is not
No,
Hollywood. This is a reality TV show. And my
I
thing
know,
is if they felt that comfortable with giving each other a little bit of tongue, they might have already been giving each other a little bit more than tongue, and that's why they was comfortable with giving the tongue. I don't know.
So hold on.
Paul is a little
you
older.
get my tongue is because
So
you done got something else already.
So let me ask you this though. I mean, do you think that it's okay from the door to tongue kiss somebody, like, you know, even if it's the first date or not, or, you know, should it just be a regular, you know, quick one?
I think
Y'all
that's
got
just
me
them
thinking-
sealing the deal, man. They just
Y'all
sealing
got
the
me
deal.
thinking I'm a hoe or something. I've never done this much analyzing on the kiss. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand. I never thought kisses were that serious. I'm sorry. Get it.
I agree with you. I don't think they're that serious. Like Sabrina and I, like we recently had a difference of opinion because I'm like, oh, it's just a peck. I'm like, that's a smooch. But we're talking about like the aggressor. Like in this moment, I'm talking about like, oh, okay. Like it's one thing to be like a smooch. We're playing a game. That's a smooch. But then now I'm talking about, oh, okay, we're here. We're aggressive. We're doing this. So I just feel like, you know, like, I don't know. And again, maybe it's because of my profession or whatever. You know what I mean? I have to like really, I've had to really think to not exude so much like what y'all call it, whatever pill it is.
We get it. Yeah.
Whoop appeal.
So like maybe at this point in my life I'm overthinking, like, and y'all know I'm a Virgo. I'm the token Virgo here, so maybe I'm over analyzing things. So like I'm always like, okay, like let me not be too dominant because I am a Southern lady. Like I like to be lady. Like I want you to be my man. So let me allow you to be like dominant in this moment. So like I just feel like in this era of social media, right, with women like with women like me, it's really hard to determine like our lane because like I ain't trying to give too much and I'm not trying to be too much and I'm not trying to be controlling and I'm not trying to be the man. Like that energy. I want to be like queened. I want to be, you know, I want you to swoop me up. Like I still believe in that. Like I still want it. And I don't want you to think that I'm trying to take over or any of that. So like for me right now, it's hard. And then I'm watching this show right now that I was a part of, which we were a different, on my season, we were different. So I'm watching it and it's a year later. And so I'm like, oh my God. So like, this is where dating is, right? So I'm trying to figure it out just like the people.
The squeaky wheel gets the grease. So if you ain't squeaking, you ain't getting no grease. You gotta, you know, let it be known what you want.
Hold on. If it ain't
Simple as that.
But doesn't a squeaky wheel mean like you raggedy and broken? I ain't trying to be raggedy and broken.
No, it just means you need a little oil. It just means you need a little oil. Ain't nothing raggedy or broken.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm in an era of confusion. Like y'all gotta understand, like I'm the first millennial, so I'm like on both. Like I'm stuck in both.
Yeah, I'm a millennial too.
But it's really hard for me. You are definitely not.
I'm a bicentennial. I meant. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, go up there, but you're not here.
Oh damn.
Oh,
Lord.
You gotta come
next.
Okay. All right, we're moving forward. So anything else about Mark Anthony and Mercedes? No?
I think we covered all of that.
Hold up, another round. You know what it is. If you've been in acting class, they told you top, bottom. You know what it is.
Oh my gosh. We got to remember, Paul's old enough. He probably was on set during the Janet Jackson and Tupac taping.
Poetic
justice.
Because she damn sure didn't want to kiss him.
No, she made him get all kinds of tests and everything before she kissed him on Poetic Justice. She sure did.
Facts.
There ain't nothing wrong with a little tongue. Slip me a little bit.
Ain't nothing wrong with it but I don't.
But can I tell y'all something like, okay, so can I tell y'all something like one of my homeboys told me? If it's not
after
too much.
The next slide.
All right, go to the next slide. We'll talk about this
if I don't
later.
know where it's really, I don't know if y'all are going to be able to see it because, oh, wait a minute. It's not the next slide. Hold on. I got to read my notes. Can y'all see and hear me? My internet keeps going in and out. Oh, there we go.
I hear you just fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we.
She's
stuck in time. Don't worry. The Matrix will catch up to her.
She's stuck in your time, Paul. I need her to come to my time.
What was after this? Was it the ladies' lounge, the men's lounge?
No, it was Tony. It was Tony.
Well, there's no elimination.
It was Tony
I
Morgan.
think that was it.
Tony's date.
Oh, Tony
and
Morgan.
Y'all know what? But you know what, Ty? If we want to talk about this, this was the first time I saw what you were talking about with Tony. Like, this was the very first time. Like, I don't know if it was you.
Morgan meets Tony for. All right. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yeah. You're good.
Okay.
You're back.
Sorry, it's real windy over here. Sorry, guys. Okay. All right. So Morgan meets Tony for a date. Tony feels Morgan is putting the pressure on him. He is going back and forth between Morgan and Marcia. And he's like, it's just getting so complicated, or it's difficult trying to make a decision. He says that he likes both. He says, Morgan says about Tony that he is a wild card. A part of her really likes him. The other part is terrified because she doesn't know what he is capable of. Tony is smooth Tony from up top. She says that he does play too much, and Morgan starts to talk about her connection with Lyndon, and she tells Tony that she doesn't care what his other connections are. She told him to narrow his connections down, and now she is telling him to clean it up and get it together. He says, duly noted. And she says that she feels that they pretty much both gained clarity on this date.
All right. Tony with the razzle dazzle. Listen. Well, first off, Tony, if you're listening, brother, please teach me these ways because I can never pull this off. Everybody is always suspicious of me, and I just can't do it. So I feel like I said, Tony, he probably a cool dude or whatever. In this show, though, yeah, he got them all, on lock. He's sitting back, he's watching, he pretty much can pick and choose whatever direction you want to do, whatever direction you want to go. So I feel like for him, he's not pressed and he's not going to hard commit to nobody because he probably got 2 or 3 of them joints that he really want to take down. And if he tell one that he's committing, like Morgan, Morgan going to run back to the ladies' lounge, run the tape, and then he's all washed up with his other connections. So he's always safe. He gives them just enough for that hope. And after that, he's going to give you that breadcrumb to keep you coming back. That's all I got. But I do want to learn his ways. I'm not going to lie. Tony, you a bad brother. Because I can never pull that one off.
I don't know. You don't want to learn here because, the streets have been talking, and I can't talk about what the streets been talking about. But let me tell you something. You're gonna eat those words very, very soon. So you're just fine, P.O. You're just fine. Because you want to be nothing like Mr. Tony here. Not even a little bit.
Boy.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Like,
Let me
it's
say
real
something.
bad.
This whole scene, this scene was cringy for me. It was giving me very toxic, very, I don't know, again, maybe I'm too serious about stuff, but some stuff I just don't think is cute or funny to play around with. And Morgan is coming off very, very, it's a thin line between love and hate. I don't know. And Tony is coming off very, I don't really want to put it, but it's cringy to me. I don't find anything about them entertaining.
Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack here.
There we go. Sorry, guys.
I feel like I always mention that I think Tony is Morgan's kryptonite in a sense where Tony understands what Morgan needs to be, I guess, happy momentarily. And it's primarily aggressiveness and compliments, and she's literally telling you, what it takes. It was coming off as if, they already had an agreement and she's basically letting him know, don't embarrass me by the end of this. If I'm going to be on the couch with you, get it together,
So Ty, real quick, do you think he smashed? You think he already smashed? I do.
Oh, me too.
God.
I'm not.
You already went to smash him?
I'm not gonna go there just yet. I'm not gonna go there just yet. But I do feel like it may end up being one of those situations to where, how women like to add another guy to the situation just to have the first guy prove that he likes her. I think I already mentioned that I think she prefers, the men to fight over her. We've had that in previous seasons where the ladies are actually happy to see 2 men fight over them. Sometimes the women don't understand that, we talk, and in the end, we are grown men. And I know you want me to be mad at this dude, but, I've been in a situation where I was like, I'm not supposed to be cool with you, but I don't have no issues with you.
Mm-hmm.
And dude was like, well, let's talk. And we talked. And I think those things are happening.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan, I don't want to say anything, bad because I don't really know her, but I just feel like there are some things that she sees in Tony that she doesn't like but can't remove herself from that attraction.
Yeah,
Almost
see,
like
I think,
I think we saw something similar last year with Kayla, where the hunt, the game, the mental, emotional manipulation, that mind game, like it's hard to walk away from that. There's things that you
What
want
you're
and there's
saying,
things that you
Ty,
need, huh? Huh?
what you're saying is that not what you're saying, but what I'm gathering you're saying is like the traditional safety net of good girl, like girls like bad guys, right? Not like bad, but like edgy, right? Because this was the first time I can't remember which one of y'all, so I'm not gonna brand Ty or Pio or J Dub was saying it, and I wish J Dub was here tonight. But one of the guys was like, "No, I'm not feeling him. He gives me bad vibes. It's not that he's New York, but he's New York."
J Dub too.
But this was the first time I was like, "Oh," because like I've been empathetic to Tony this entire time, so I was just like, like running at like, oh, okay. Like I don't know if it was like what he had to say about Lyndon, that exchange. I don't know what it is that made me come full circle to whichever of you guys. And this is where we have to give Sabrina credit for having a balanced panel of guys who give like their real experience, not just within themselves, but just like with their homies, like y'all been here, done that. You know what I mean? Y'all can speak from a true male perspective, but this was the first time I was side-eyeing Tony. And I've been a Tony empathizer this entire time. I've been a Blake empathizer. I've been a Tony empathizer because I'm like, oh, okay, maybe they're misunderstood. Maybe it's something else. But I think like him and his, I think that I don't know who he likes. I don't know if it's who he likes. Let me rephrase it. I don't know if it's who he likes or if it's who he's in competition with. But it just rubbed me wrong.
I think he likes both of them. I think Morgan thinks he's being messy. I think he is being a little messy. In the previews for the next episode, you see him and Marcia kissing. I wanted to touch on the aggressive situation and why that might be something that she likes. I feel like when men are aggressive, it means that you are sure of how he feels, which means you don't have to be so sure about yourself.
Say it again. Say it again, Ty.
Well,
because I don't. No. I want you to say it again because it doesn't apply to all women. That's not a blanket statement. But I think that applies to women who's unsure of what they want. So I would love for you to say that again.
That again.
So what I said was when people are aggressive towards you, then you know where they stand. And that means that's less sure you need to be of yourself. And sometimes people like a little bit of crazy because they're like, well, at least I know that person likes me, which means, I don't have to be so confident in myself because I know that I got them. There's really not much to question.
But okay, so can I pose this back to you? So people who like a little bit of crazy, does that highlight on a little bit of like toxicity? Like, okay, so we got a war with each other. Like, I need you to like fight with me, fight for me, fight to show me, even if that's not where your heart resides.
Honestly, I think it might be a little bit of a lack of self-love and self-confidence in yourself. If you need all that to feel a certain way
Wait,
about your
pause,
mate or about your partner.
pause,
Mhm.
Tyrone. Because what you missed was Sabrina putting on that lip gloss. Do it again, girl.
Y'all know I put lip gloss on. That means so
Because right now we're not talking like where we individually stand, but just like things that we want to like bring attention to, right? And I think like
Understandable.
everyone is making a statement. So
Mhm.
Sabrina is making a huge statement. So Ty, finish, and then Sabrina, I want your comment because I would love to hear it after that.
I hate knowing stuff. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, I just over time you get to see people, you get to read people, and people act a certain way for a certain reason. And we're gonna end up touching on this date with Blake because I got a lot more to say about that. I just feel like if it was truly a confidence thing, I feel she would carry herself differently. That's just my opinion. If she was really that self-confident in herself,
Yeah.
wouldn't nobody need to tighten it up? Wouldn't nobody need to show her nothing unless there was a agreement made? That's all.
Hey, did we see any dates with Blue and Lyndon this time, or no?
Yeah,
We didn't see Blue at
Lyndon.
all.
We saw Lyndon and Morgan.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna save that for our outro because, like, I was like, why haven't we seen Blue? Is he the next one eliminated? Because we've not seen anything from Blue. So, based on PO's formula, if we see Blue at the beginning of the next episode, we know that it's going to be a male elimination, even though it's like in the air.
No, it's a male elimination.
Well,
our guys
they
going
did
And
give it
I
away.
could be wrong, but I'm just trying.
They did give it away in the preview, and I had to record it at 120
They did?
frames per second
Wait.
just so I can put it in slow-mo and see it.
Yeah.
But I'll just say there was a really quick scene with them. It was a group date with them on the airboat. And if you look closely, you can see who's on the
boat and who's not on the boat. Well, I
can tell you I ain't look quickly because y'all know I ain't looking quickly. I be distracted. I be cooking and stuff, so I ain't look quick. I'm like the rest of the people in the chat. I ain't see that.
Well, all I know is go ahead, Tyrone.
No, I was gonna say I don't know nothing. I don't follow them on social media because I don't really want to know just yet.
Yeah. I just kind of feel like at the end of the day, I feel like Morgan and Tony are like the same and same. I think that he's so cool about it because in real life, he's kind of like that. And I think he's like kind of digging that she's like that because I feel like he can be like a little aggressive too. But he trying to play it cool. Like he's still playing the game. He's still doing what he got to do. But I really feel like in real life, that's how she acts. I feel like that's how he act in real life too.
I think you're gonna make me say it. I think the vitriol that Morgan said to Blake, she feels about Tony.
But I think she actually really likes Tony. I think honestly, I'm gonna keep it 100. I think they're both kind of toxic.
I think that she likes Tony in a physical way.
Oh,
I think that,
absolutely.
right. And I think that, sometimes there's some women, I'm not dubbing her to be this lady, but there are some women that, they're more heavy on the physical side of things, and that's where the emotions come from versus, the internal things where the pleasantries and stuff like that, wins them over. And I think with Tony, it looks like she's more on the physical side, and that's what's luring her emotions. And she could just be, the type of person that likes physical first, and that's what does it for her. And then, the other stuff comes later. I don't know.
I feel like they're going to have amazing sex, but I feel like at the end of the day, she is how she is. But it's that one guy that will try you and show you like, oh, you thought you was boss? Oh, I'm about to show you who the boss is in real life. Like in real life,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that their sexual chemistry is amazing, but when it come down to like a real relationship and them trying to actually work it out,
it's gonna be a wrap.
It's a wrap, because
Yeah.
I'm telling you, and the reason I feel like I kind of know is because I've been in this type of situation before. I used to be Morgan. I was Morgan. And then I dated somebody that was like Tony. And I thought like, yeah, like, no, you gonna do like this. You gonna let, you know what I'm saying? And then like, he made me really eat my words, and it got real ugly, and it got real ugly real fast, and I just see it just like playing out. I mean, I could be wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I had a similar situation. I think she likes him. She likes his style. She likes the style that he used to bag her. But I think she, you know how women, how do I say this?
Emphasis,
like,
Ty.
You know what
emphasis
your,
on. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
like you know what your man did to get you. So when
Emphasis,
you see your man doing that, say that again.
emphasis on to bag and not to sustain. I think I feel like at this moment, you and I are on the same page. Like, emphasis on what a man does to bag and then what he does to sustain it.
Right.
Right.
So, so she knows what he did to get her, and for him, that may have just been a regular old, this is just how I am. Because I've had similar situations where she was like, "Why are you saying hello like that?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? All I did was say hello and introduce myself." She's like, "Nah, you know what you was doing." So, but in the back of my mind, I did know what I was doing.
Right.
So,
right.
So I get it.
Yes, sir.
And basically, she's seeing what he's doing. She knows his hunting style because it worked on her. And she's seeing all these little things that he's doing. And she's like, yo, I can see you. I'm letting you know that I see you. Clean it up. And he's like, all right.
He's like, note taken.
Noted.
Right. Noted. But then he goes, this is Marcia.
Because when you in the hunt, you in the hunt. And if she, Morgan ain't innocent. So, and he's been saying all this time the same thing that she's been saying, show me something. And so they're both saying, show me something, show me something. And like I said, they're probably going to miss out on a good thing because they both want the other person to be aggressive.
Okay, so Ty. Okay, so let me ask you this. Because like I was getting a little confused because y'all know wigs and stuff, I be getting confused. So at the beginning, I know, bless my little heart, I be so confused. Like literally, I don't be knowing who's who. So don't take it offensively to my fellow cast members. So at the beginning of the episode, who was talking to Anthony? It was Morgan, right?
Morgan and Marcia.
So who was telling Anthony that he's not as aggressive?
Morgan.
Both of them.
Yeah, both of them. Were.
So I had on my notes, it was Morgan. So then we're going to fast forward to the date with Tony, where it's like aggression, like game recognized game.
But to be specific, they were saying that he wasn't being aggressive towards them. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
So I just
that's
feel
why
like,
it came up.
I only say that because like in my brain, like your comment just made like full circle with Morgan.
Yeah, I almost made a video to count how many times Morgan said aggressive. And it's real easy to do if you do the voice to text and just do
because
a search
I
for
feel
the
like
word.
So the difference, so what I'm observing and where we made this full circle is that, okay, so Anthony, he's very intentional. He's not going to tell you stuff for the sake of saying stuff, like just from what we've seen, right? So the complaint is you're not telling me enough. And then we come here, like at the point we are with Tony, and he's just saying all kind of stuff to meet you where you are. So like it's ding ding, like it's a light goes off, and I understand what you're saying. Like sometimes what's best for us is not what we're hearing at the time, and it's what we expect. And then we get our expectations, and can our expectations sustain us? Like we might not, in all fairness, like I mean, like I know we're like talking about like what we see on this show and stuff, but just for me, like me processing things and me still being a student, right? I'm like, okay, so Anthony might not have said everything she wanted to hear, but he was saying things in an intentional manner, like applicable manner, like, hey, this is how I feel, like this is what it is. And then we're here with Tony and he's matching energy. And we've yet to see whether it's sincere or on the same level as like a reciprocal level. So I'm like, for me right now, I'm having like this come to Jesus Ty and PO. Like as much as we like I personally may go hard on y'all. I'm like, oh, okay, now it all makes sense what y'all have been saying this entire time.
Yeah, I'm starting to think Anthony might be in that sunken place where all of his connections are disappearing slowly but surely.
He's not trying to connect with his connections. He's not trying, not for real.
Well.
So
where
do you figure out like the people that's not like super forward and the people that's not super aggressive, they're in one zone. And the people that's insincere and over aggressive, that states our entire like dating situation right now. You have people that may like you, they don't know how to communicate it. And then you have people that halfway like you, but they're over communicating. They're telling you what you want to hear. So what do you pick?
I think he communicated with his connections. I think he literally said, like, if you wanted to be my wife, if you wanted to be my daughter's mom, I could work with you through that. But we just saw her kiss tongue a dude down,
So who is his connection?
in the last.
I'm sorry.
I'm thinking it would have been Mercedes and Cynthia. He said Mercedes and Cynthia.
Okay.
So as far as we know, Cynthia is still an option.
So
but
he was but on this last run right here, he was one and he took the bubble date, right? He took the bubble date.
I don't think it was a bubble date. It was just a date.
Yeah,
because nobody's on the bubble apparently.
Well, he was on the bubble. I'm saying when
Nah.
Mark Anthony was up for elimination, right? I mean, they
No.
had him. It was him and Mark Anthony, right? And they told him, "Get back in line. You safe." And Mark Anthony, you out. And you got saved.
But it wasn't
right?
a bubble date. Yeah.
Well, not a bubble date.
It was the lunch date where.
No, it was just a regular date with him and Sue-Ann.
No, I understand that, but he was the one being counseled, right, for his effort.
Yeah.
Along with Mark Anthony. Okay, that's what. Okay, so the ladies were saying. Okay, so it makes sense then. So they put. I get it. So production put the two people that had counseling on a date with each other.
I didn't look at it that way.
Wait,
I just feel like
what? What did Paul
They
say?
put-
Two people with what?
The two people that had counseling, you know, or whatever, you know how they say, oh, you had feedback or whatever. They put those two people on a date with each other.
I think what happened was Andre came back, and you can hear
Right.
Cynthia say, Andre ain't never not been my number one, so he good. So
He's back on.
Cynthia,
He's back in the game.
Yeah. So Cynthia,
Right.
you know, and then we just saw what happened with Mercedes. Jonique is gone. So who's left for him to go on a date with? Morgan done already kissed Tony multiple times, and I'm sure they all know this. All the fellas know this already.
They were
This is a
kissing
kiss-
each other at
Yeah,
the
this is a
lunch
kissing-
when they were sitting on the couch.
Right.
They was
So
kissing.
This is the
Right.
most kissing cast I've ever
Yes.
seen in my life.
Yes,
And
I'm
it-
glad I'm
and
not
it
on
was-
this season because I
and
would.
it was confirmed that Anthony was 5 feet away when Blake and Sue-Ann kissed. So
Right.
he saw that.
So real quick, guys, just to take a quick pause. It is 264.3 watching, and in the chat we have 139 likes or thumbs up. If you could just take a pause for the cause and click that thumbs up if you are enjoying the show. In the words of Really Be
my
TV, it is free 99. So thank you guys so much for the support. I appreciate it. Just click that thumbs up.
We should go get some beers.
Yeah.
Anthony.
Yeah. Yo, Anthony, holla at me, player. Let me know what's goody.
Mm.
Drinks on me. First round, bro. Got you.
All right. So are we still on or are we off of Morgan and Tony's date?
Yeah, I'm off of
We
that
beat
date.
that horse to death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I'm feeling. All right. So we could have moved on like 17 minutes ago, but Morgan, I mean not Morgan, Lord have mercy, I'm trying to bring it back. Blake meets Morgan and she explains how he made her feel at the mixer. Blake says that wasn't his intent and he did apologize to her. He says that he doesn't know exactly what was said that drew the emotions from her. He said that he would like to know what it was to make her feel that way, and if that's the way that she was feeling, that he apologizes. And she's pretty much like, how you gonna apologize for something if you don't even know what you did? And she says that he didn't hurt her. He was like, yeah, I obviously hurt you by what I said. She was like, no, you did not hurt me. He's like, but I can see you hurt. She says, no, what you said, it wasn't kind. And he didn't cross her mind, or he did not cross her mind. And she pretty much did not lose no sleep. He mentions that he didn't want to keep talking about the Jeffrey situation because she brought that up. He says because he felt like it was starting to grow like a cancer. Morgan says that she feels like that's how she feels about Blake. She called him a malignant cancer. She doesn't think that he has good intentions. She doesn't find him honest, and she feels like he is lying to all the women. She is disgusted by him. He wishes her luck. Blake feels that she came into this with a one-sided agenda. She thinks that he is a fraud, an imposter. Blake ends the date and wishes her luck again, or that one time, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And she
said, I hope I never see you again.
Yeah, she
All right.
says
Yeah.
you again.
So
Yeah.
here's the thing. Here's the problem. The problem is that you have all of this negative energy towards me, if I'm Blake, and I'm asking you, help me understand what your issue is, so that I can at least on my end rectify this, because I don't want it to be there.
Right.
And you say to me, well, there's no bad energy, and I'm like, well, but clearly there is. And I'm willing to apologize and own that and take ownership, if you let me. But then to say, well, how are you going to apologize to me if you don't even know what it is? Well, what is it? And then you're telling me nothing. Well, then why are you mad for no reason? So one of two things has to be true. Either you're just mad because you just don't know where to target your anger at or whatever, or you're taking the ideals from the people that's in the lounge and collectively internalizing that and then being the canon for the group. But something has happened. If you're not, because if clearly he doesn't know what he did to her directly. So this seems like these are the views of of other people, and she's being the messenger, but she's not really effective at being the messenger because you're not delivering what the issue is. Like, you can't accuse me of, oh, you wrong for that. I'm like, wrong for what? You know what? I don't know what, so tell me. Well, I ain't telling you. Well, then what the hell are we here for? Like, and I can understand what that feels like, being in a situation, man. At that point, I would be just like Blake. Oh, okay, look, you feel like how you feel, whatever. But for the one now, I will say this: I've had, positive feelings about Morgan and, her being there and stuff. But like, I think that it was highly uncalled for to kind of have so much rage and, call this man a malignant cancer, and, just all of this bad energy just came spouting out, like, without at least saying what exactly your grief is or what is your gripe with this guy. Now it could be something, again, that production has isolated or whatever, but from what I've seen, it doesn't. I don't see that there's a way that, that has occurred. And I mean, I think that the mature thing to do is, if you're having an issue with a person, let it out, talk to them, say what you got to say, and move on. And you don't have to, kind of, slap the man on the back of his head on the way out the door by saying, I hope I never see you again. That's like, I hope you go out there on the street and get hit by a bus. Like, we are adults at the end of the day, so we still have to, you know, be mature and about our issues. Here's what it is.
Tyrone?
Wow. First of all, I do think that there was more to this scene that was cut out. Production is a little messy. You'll see that when she goes to sit down, she has the option to pick the seats, and you can see her move the tea or whatever all the way to the other side of the table. And then in the captions, it says, I'm going to sit way over here, or stay way away from me, or something like that. She mentioned, being honest and open, but, she had a smile on her face when he walked in. So how is he supposed to take that? Originally, what he was apologizing for was he was apologizing for how she felt, to where, she clearly said it was about how she felt. So he was apologizing for how he made her feel, not exactly for what he did, because he didn't know what he did. And in most cases, if you feel a certain way, you don't want someone to respond with, well, this is what I was thinking, or this is what blah, blah, blah. No, you want someone to acknowledge that you felt a certain way. So for about 95% of this date, I think Blake did all he could possibly do. As I mentioned earlier, I do think, you know what, I'll hold off on that. I want to know who are the other women that Morgan thinks Blake is lying to. And then
Right.
if that
And
is
and then
and if
I
that is
just
the
wanted to
case,
say, I'm sorry.
go ahead.
I
Go
just
ahead.
wanted to add something to what you said at the beginning. When Blake came in, he and Morgan hugged, right?
Right.
So normally, if you got this energy you want to
I'm
let
not gonna
off,
hug you. I don't want you
right,
touching me. She didn't even want her next to him. That's why when she hugged
right,
him, I was like, I'm so confused right now. Because if I
yeah,
don't mess with you, if I don't like you like that for real, I don't want you hugging me. And I will tell you, no, I'm good, shorty. Like we don't got to hug,
right,
but like,
right,
it's good seeing you. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But
So I
anyway,
was
I'm
confused.
sorry, guys.
So when
Yeah,
she mentions the other women that Blake is lying to, I'm wondering if this is a confirmation that Blake indeed does have other connections.
for sure.
And if that's the case, who are those people that Morgan feels she needs to protect that aren't speaking up for themselves right
Right.
now?
Yeah. And
Um,
that's what I was saying. There seems like
mhm,
it seems like she's taken up a cause from the ladies' lounge, and then she's
mhm.
presenting that to him, but she can't articulate what it is because it's not directly what between him and her.
Yeah, we've
Hate
heard
to say it,
we've
but
heard
I
Morgan
agree,
call
guys.
him goofy. We heard Morgan call him a weirdo in the background, and I'm trying to understand, why is she so angry? Why is she so mad?
Because she
Um,
probably liked him.
I am thinking, like I mentioned earlier, that, when she's saying all this to Blake, yes, she probably meant it to Blake. It probably felt good for it to come out in that
Safe
situation.
projection.
And she
Safe
would probably
projection.
stand, yeah, she'll probably stand on it because she had the opportunity in the confessionals, to take it back. But she literally said, it felt good and I needed to get that off of my chest.
Yeah, she
But it
needed to
makes
get it
me,
off because
yeah,
she probably had feelings for him. Like when she was sitting there at the table when at the mixer, that was in the very beginning of the show. She probably was feeling Blake. And when he mentioned the whole thing about the kids and all that other stuff, she was probably taken back by it, and it probably really hurt her feelings because she probably was like, "Dag," and I was feeling this dude, and he came out his mouth wrong. Like he ain't no dude gonna talk to me like that. Ain't nobody gonna disrespect and downplay and me. You know what I'm saying? And she just could not get over it. Like we see, like Morgan is very, what's the word? Strong-willed and minded when it comes to her and herself and men and dating, and he wasn't following along her lines, and she got offended. She wasn't having it, and it made her feel some type of way. You got to understand, we in episode 7. That happened, what, episode 2? That's like a month and a half later. Like, why are we even meeting? You and your feelings, why are we meeting? So you done made me waste a whole date to come here for you to tell me that she ain't like what I said. He was really trying to be mature about it. I really appreciated that he apologized, and he was really trying to, and the fact that, I'm sorry to cut you off, Tyrone, because I just went on a tangent, and this was your whole commentary part of it. I'm gonna let you finish. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was trying to remember. So there is video evidence, multiple occasions where we can see how Morgan reacts to guys that aren't feeling her. And on multiple occasions, she would mention something about the dude not being aggressive towards her, or the guy doesn't like her, or the guy showed no interest in her or something, and she gets totally turned off. And what's weird is, as I mentioned earlier, we saw Morgan's first reaction to Blake, where Blake mentioned the kids, and she said, "I'm out." Um, so we were, she wanted to mention being rude and all that stuff to people, and on camera, it seems like she started that. I think the last thing that I was going to say was I did mention that she's going to stand on what she said to Blake, but I don't think that at a subconscious level, the joy that she felt of it coming out, I don't think that joy was meant for Blake. I think it was either meant for a current situation or a situation in the past where she didn't say it and has been wanting to say it, and now it feels good coming out. And Blake just happened to be the recipient of all that. But we did get to see a little bit of a-hole from Blake, towards the end. But I figured at that point, what's the man supposed to do? Like, in that situation, in that situation, if you know that, and I'm sure he can hear the comments where Marcia is saying, "I don't like this," when they're arguing, when they're going back and forth,
Right.
with Jeffrey and Morgan clearly says, "I do."
I do.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and Blake still went in there, trying to man up, being like, "I want to know what it is so I can explain it." But then she's giving that energy like, "You can never hurt me. You can never do this. You can never do that. I wasn't hurt." I mean, what are you supposed to do on camera at that point?
Yeah.
It shows
That's not
that
an easy situation to be in. That's all I got.
Yeah, it just really showed, like, it made me look at Blake like, and y'all already know how I feel about Blake, but it made me look at Blake like it was a complete 180 from when he was supposed to talk to Corbett or Jeffrey, when he was supposed to sit and talk to Jeffrey. Like he was like, yeah, like, so what happened? No, you talk. Like, he didn't open up with Jeffrey. But when he sat with Morgan, it was like, look, I obviously did something. Like, he was verbal. He communicated with Morgan. So I definitely appreciated that from him. And honestly, for most women, that's all we want. Like, we want you to hear us out. We want to be able to explain to you guys, like, you did this, you did that, like, you hurt me. You know what I'm saying? And she wasn't having it. So it just makes me feel like she's so upset with him. She's so bitter. I've had men do far more worse stuff than what he did to her, and I still talk to them afterwards. So I'm like, why? Like, I don't want him here. He's a cancer. He's this. He can go to hell. I hope he died. Like, what the hell did he really do to make you that upset? She need to go ahead and go jump on the boat with Andre. Like, why are you so mad?
Right.
I mean, I don't get it. I don't know. I ain't always right, but that's just so weird for her to have that much negative energy towards him, when all he said, he offended me when he made that comment. He offended me, but I actually still be taken up for even after he made the comment. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't know. I mean, that's just
so. As far as we know, he did make some controversial comments about parents with kids and not being able to get all the things you want because you may have kids. And then he made another comment early about a kid being broken.
It was the same comment.
Okay.
Yeah. And see, that's one of the things, Tyrone, though, we got to watch out for, because production has its way of really flipping the story or flipping conversations around and changing the whole narrative. And I mean, like, I've had the same thing happen to me. I was talking to Ace at the mixer, and the first thing I said to her was, "Hey, are you, like, nervous? Is it okay if I could sit down or whatever?" I said, "Are you intimidated? Like, is it okay if I sit down?" And that was the last thing that they played in my conversation to make it look like I, based on her, and then got up and was like, what, are you intimidated? And I'm like, so production has its way of doing that and really flipping stuff around to tell an adverse story at first so that they can, from what I was explained, they want to take you down and then build you up so that the people will first hate you and then love you, which translates to, we want to be able to sell the story on your back, and then we'll show them that who you really are in the end. Unfortunate for him that he's been selected for the job. I think that we've been misunderstanding a lot of things that's been going on with him. And that's why I said from the very, very first beginning, I already knew exactly what it was by the way that they kept showing him. We keep seeing him. We're watching his story and things like that. But there's something on the other side of this that is actually, probably showcasing his better half or his better side or whatever. Because realistically, everybody's mad at Blake and nobody likes Blake. But what in the hell did he do?
Yeah.
What did he do?
So there was
You
talk of a
literally have
broken
listed
comment.
like 20 things, Paul, that he's done.
No, I was gonna get into it a little bit. There was mention about the broken kid, and there may be some resentment about single moms feeling like they may be raising broken kids, and I don't think that's what he meant. I don't think single mothers are creating broken kids in the way that y'all may
No.
think that he is. I don't know what I'm. It may not be in the way that y'all think he is, but in the end, like, y'all are single moms. Y'all will never be a young man without his father. So there are things that he understands that y'all may not understand. And even though your kid may be a good citizen, may be doing great things in life, there's still pieces of that kid that is missing because the father isn't there. And you just have to understand that part. It doesn't mean that I'm broken, but there's a huge piece that's missing that I would like to have,
Right.
And I can
Right.
say that as a young man without,
Well,
I think that goes back to what we said earlier. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, really, because you have a delay. I can finish when you're done.
Sorry about that, y'all. I do have a delay. No, I was just saying that I think that it goes back to what we said earlier about his delivery may not always be the best delivery. But let me say this about the Morgan thing, and then I'm done with it. And I said earlier, notwithstanding an edit issue, all right, I'm not gonna I hope that this was editing. I hope that there's a backstory that we're not getting. I hope that we find out once Morgan is eliminated or the season is over and she can tell the story. I really do hope that what we saw isn't a true depiction of how that conversation went. But putting that aside and me only discussing what I did see, that was disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
That was absolutely disgusting. I understand being upset at something that somebody said to you, but the way that she talked to him, the way that she cut him off, and then the things that she said to him, I just thought it was disgusting. Even in the beginning when he said, "I apologize if I made you feel," no, I apologize. He didn't even say if. He said, "I apologize for making you feel that way, but I really want to understand what I did wrong." I don't know what else. I don't know how else he could have said that in a better way. We want people to validate our feelings. He validated her feelings and said, "Listen, I'm sorry that I made you feel that way, but can you tell me what I did? Because I honestly don't know." And what I really hate is when people are like, "You know what you did." I clearly don't know what I did, or I wouldn't be asking
I'm communicating
what I did. And for her to be like, "You're a cancer, and you're a cancer, you're not benign, you're malignant, and this, and this, and I hope I never see you." Like, it was just, and even when he said at the end, he was like, "So did you get it all out?" Like, I'm glad that did you get it all out, because clearly what you were holding on to, and maybe what Tyrone said is valid, that if that was for somebody else and he just got it, like, I don't know, but I just thought it was disgusting. And when I saw it, I was like, wow, like that's who you really is that who you really are? And again, I hope there's a backstory that we get to see, and if the editors did her like that, they did her dirty. But what I also know is they can't use what you don't give them. I know they can splice it and dice it. I understand that.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
So that's just my 2 cents.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Stacey,
oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead, Pio,
My bad.
real quick.
Now, I was just going to say, really, production is very crafty, right? And I'm just going to tell you like this here. If I said something like, really B is not a bad person, they will take out the not and it'll say, really B is a bad person. And then that changes the whole narrative.
Yeah,
And they have a way of doing that. And these people, I'm telling you, they get this stuff on the cutting floor. And those folks are so good with selling that story. So, we really just have to wait for the interviews to really get the real.
Mm-hmm.
I get
Real
it.
quick,
That's why I started my comment. I gave that whole disclaimer at the beginning. I get it, Paul. I do. I honestly do. I gave that whole disclaimer. But if I'm just saying, I can only talk about what they showed me. I know y'all understand. I know y'all got the side of it, but I can only talk about what they showed me. But that's why I gave the disclaimer that listen, if this was editing, then that's my caveat.
Right. No doubt about it.
So real quick, this is what I want to say. Like, what I don't like about all of this conversation is that it's like people who have kids versus people who don't. Like, I understand that some of us, we have kids and it seems like easy to us, right? And it's a lot of people who haven't had kids or cannot have kids, and these children are a luxury. So what I don't like about what Blake said regarding having kids and the toxicity is the insensitivity of it. But what I do understand about what he said is maybe he's saying the next person he wants to be with, he wants to be present with, because he can see how his absence in the lives of his other kids may have been toxic or may have been detrimental. So I feel like it would be better if we can have the blanks filled in. And at this point, I would, from what Blake is saying, it seems like his next relationship, he wants to be present, right? But I do not want to miss the women, Sabrina, your followers who are out here who want kids or can't have kids or who have tried, I don't know if they didn't share this in my season, because in my season, I shared the hard part of my pregnancies of and on camera, and it never made it to the light of day, how each of my children are miracles, all 3 of them, none of them were supposed to be here, but by God's grace, they're here, right? And I can understand women at this place and in this space who want to have kids. So I can understand how people would be off-put by Blake's comment. So I feel like if anything he can learn is, and I'm not on the edit floor, so we don't know if there was a level of sensitivity that he placed with it. But what we saw was it was none. So for the women who don't have kids, that want kids, like Morgan, who he said want kids by any means necessary. Well, you know what? Sometimes we've tried for a long time and we just this is our legacy and this is what we want. You know what I mean? So I think that looking at this and looking at Blake, you know what I mean, is what we're lacking is sensitivity. And I don't know if this falls on the edit room floor. I don't know where it falls. But in this conversation that we're having, what we're lacking is sensitivity, because we know the women here and even the men here, y'all know what it took to get our kids here. Y'all know what it takes to raise them, y'all know, like, even if you're trying to have them, even if this is like a desire of yours, you know what I mean? Even if it's not a desire of yours, you know what you want for your legacy. Like what we're missing here, and I feel like this goes back for generations, like unfortunately, is that Black people, they like the world has made us to be so insensitive to our legacy building and so insensitive to the process of childbearing, because women are supposed to be so strong and men are just supposed to be absentee or present, but the desire is not the same. There's men that really want kids, their desires are to be fathers, and there's women who like really want to have kids. So I appreciate, even though there's like sentences, like there's gaps in between, I appreciate Ready to Love for bringing this conversation to our forum where we can talk about this, because so many of us can't, so many of us want them, so many of us have problems, so many of us have no problems having them. But the important part is what's important to some people. You know, like we need to be sensitive to their desires. And you know what I mean? Like Blake, because he's had 3, he's like his delivery is insensitive because maybe it was easy to him. But for women, we know that is not always easy for us, because Black women suffer from endometriosis. We have so many different causes that some of us, like, we want kids, we desire kids, we want them right now, that we can't have them. So I think that this is a wonderful conversation that we're actually having in our our community that's been like so cliche, we've been so afraid to have. And I'm just happy that it's here. Like Blake saying Morgan wants him at any means necessary. So what? She might be a great mom by any means necessary. And Blake, you may have been a great father to the 3 that you have, and you may want like more of like a family structure for your future, but you need to articulate that in a better manner.
Okay. All right, Stacey, thank you so much. So we can get ready to wrap this scene up. But I definitely want to give a huge shout out to actually Aubrey, and make sure you hit that thumbs up if you have not hit that thumbs up. It is 271 of you in the chat and 177 thumbs up. In the words of Really Be TV, it is free 99. So if you have not hit that thumbs up, make sure you definitely hit the thumbs up. And just to let you know that actually Aubrey, if you look down at the bottom, has the thumbs up. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. And also too, actually Aubrey is another YouTuber on YouTube that does reviews on TV shows like Ready to Love. Like I said, we have a whole community here. We all stick by each other. So make sure if you are not subscribed to their channel too, you want to definitely check out their content as well. All right, guys. Anything else with Blake and Morgan? Because I feel like with them, we could go on and on and on and on and on and on. Because in real life, I knew in this scene, just real quick from me, I knew that when I saw this scene was the same scene when I saw Samson and how he acted. I don't know if you guys remember, but I was like, this is going to be bad for Samson. I said this scene, this episode, literally America was in love with him, and now they're not going to love him so much. I remember it happened like that. When I saw this scene with Morgan, and there's a lot of people out there that support Morgan, but I knew once this scene happened, I was like, that's a wrap for her. I was like, that's it. And I don't know if you guys follow like the blogs and Twitter and stuff like that, but a lot of people are really feeling some type of way about how Morgan acted towards Blake. And it's crazy because people that didn't like Blake, now they like, I think I'm kind of feeling Blake now. And the people that really wasn't feeling Blake, like, I still ain't feeling Blake, but I really don't feel Morgan now. You know, like, I don't got to be a Blake fan to be like, that was wrong of Morgan. So it's a lot of controversy behind that whole scene. And like I said, we could go on and on and on about it. But we can go ahead and wrap up that scene. Do you guys have anything else to say about that specific scene?
Just really quick, I think to get a better perspective, I think go back, watch episode 1, watch the exchange with Blake when they talk about the kids and the 87%, but look at it from the perspective of a guy that already has a 22-year-old, 3 kids, and he may come from, you know, a single parent household. And if y'all are still trying to be funny saying that he created 3 broken kids, then yes, that means he has firsthand perspective of it all. So you can look at it that way too if you want to, if you still try to be funny about it. But yeah, go take a look at it. I don't think it's that bad. It's just a guy expressing how he feels.
Yeah. So can I say something?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, okay. So I just want to say that I know that, you know, with a lot of the stuff that goes on with the Ready to Love cast, like, you know, at the end of the day, we're human beings, right? And we don't always get it right. We don't always get caught in the best moment at the best time or at the right time. And they show that to you on television. And so I say this to the cast that's out there in Miami. Like, we know what you've been through. I've been there. Like, trust me, if nobody else knows, you know, the criticism that you receive, I know it. I lived it before. And for that, my sister April Gaines is in the chat. I'm gonna tell her thank you because she's been there, like,
From
through the
day
whole,
one.
been riding and dying with me. Like, you know, when I was getting beat down on Twitter and everything, I could talk to her on the phone and everything was all good. And I mean, you know, that happens. So I'm just telling you guys, we review this stuff. We review it for what we see. You know, I try to be, you know, a little bit more on the technical aspect of it and not the viewership, because I know what production is capable of. And some people look at it from what we see out of our eyes. But remember, you guys are just characters on television. This does not define you for who you are. You know, we see every week, maybe, you know, 2 to 3 minutes of your life. And, you know, we're not judging you based on those 2 to 3 minutes, but we're just reviewing what we see from you guys. So at the end of the day, I want to let you know that it's love, you know, peace and everything. Because at the end of the day, when this season is over, you're going to be on this side and you'll probably be saying the same thing about the Dallas season. So, you know, we here. We all one family.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well said, Pio. Thank you so much. All right, so moving forward, just to let you guys know that next episode we will meet the women's exes, and next week Jeffrey sits and talks with Tommy. Real quick, what do you guys that think that Jeffrey is going to talk to Tommy about? Put it in the comments section. Put it down below. I want my panelists right now to tell me, and I want you guys that's watching right now, put it in the chat. Let me know what you think that Jeffrey is going to talk to Tommy about. And if you're watching the replay, put down below and tell me, what do you think that Jeffrey is going to talk? I'm just like, I kind of know, but it had me a little tickled, like, oh my God, I wonder what everyone thinks. Like, I mean, I kind of know, but what y'all think? Tyrone, Pio, Stacey, if you're there.
I think that she's going to talk about the conflict. I think she's going to find out that information about Mark Anthony and talk about the conflict. I think that Jeffrey might...
Wait, pause.
So,
What information about Mark Anthony?
that he kissed the lady in the next episode. What was it, Mercedes?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that for some reason, this is just me. I think that Jeffrey might get to the point where she might eliminate herself. That's just my gut. She might just say, "I'm over this. I'm off of this," and jump. After she beats the shit out of, or beats verbally beats Mark Anthony down for, his
Kissing Mercedes.
Yeah.
Tyrone, what you think Jeffrey talking to Tommy about?
Honestly, I think it's something that she may have already told Morgan.
What she told Morgan already.
So I think we may find out the real reason why Morgan is so upset at Blake.
So what do you think that reason is? Like,
I think maybe, because this, the process is brutal, and I'm thinking this extra stress and all this stuff could really be getting to her, because she has been looking a little. I'm trying to be funny, but she's been looking tired.
Yes.
Lately she's been looking tired, and I could see her either maybe asking for a break, or just maybe something happened behind the scenes where something may have triggered, a medical issue or something. And maybe Blake was the culprit of that, unbeknownst to him. I don't know. I'm not trying to be funny.
No, I get it. I get it. Somebody got to be the villain. The blame got to be put on somebody.
And I'm thinking, you get to a point where you start to see your connections leaving. And I think if Blue gets voted off, the only person that's left is possibly Andre. And I don't know how strong that connection is. Because Andre.
Are you saying that Andre has a stronger connection with her friend?
Cynthia.
No, what I'm saying is eventually Andre's gonna have to figure out if he wants to be a dad to 3 kids.
Andre,
if he gonna get with Jeffrey, then he need to take that into consideration. And
ain't nobody even thinking that far into it.
I don't know.
They're thinking about the end of the day, the end of the couch by Tommy at the reunion. That's as far as people thinking.
I feel like I saw Andre give Jeffrey a hug goodbye. I feel like I saw that. Huh?
You have
Paul,
that
you
clip?
laughing?
Do you have that clip?
Yeah, it's in the promos.
Can you show it to us?
Paul,
I'm sorry.
What'd you say?
Somebody's wild.
Ty, can you show that to us? Because Ty, can you show us what we're talking about? Because people in the chat are talking about that she did not bring any exes. So I just need a point of reference before it's my turn.
I don't know if we saw Jeffrey on any exes. We just saw it was Andre meeting Cynthia's ex. So there's something there. There's a reason he's there. Yeah.
But I'm saying the people in the chat are saying Jeffrey didn't bring any exes from what they saw. So the hug, do you have a photo of that?
Somebody said in the chat.
You got the
It was quick.
It
was really quick. And it was quick. I gotta find it. I think it's in. I'm not trying to plug, but it's in one of my breakdowns.
I want to know who in the chat.
It's in the official trailer, huh?
I want to know who in the chat said that Jeffrey said she wanted to be thugged out after 9 p.m.
Probably it's J
Probably
Dub.
J-Dub.
He been saying it the whole time, all night.
Yeah.
Oh, and I asked J Dub, do you mean 9 or 9:30? Like, I'm gonna need you to catch up to the chat, sir.
Look
It's
what
in-
he said. J Dub said Jeffrey is going to tell Tommy that even the ducks have to raise the kids themselves too.
Someone go find the official trailer. The official trailer is free and open. So someone can go find it. I believe it's in the official trailer. It's just really quick.
I can't show it.
Yeah. So it looks like it's 2 back-to-back scenes. It's a Kim hugging Jeffrey and then him kissing. Well, it looks like he's kissing Cynthia. So it's back-to-back.
Who, Andre?
So he just missed a kissy face. He just missed.
But it looks like a hug goodbye.
Did you kiss him? Do he look like a good kisser? Do I need to experiment?
But it wasn't a kiss. I don't think it was a kiss. I think it because they don't show it all. But you can tell when someone's saying goodbye and when someone's saying hello.
And you, because my hello and goodbye is the same. Goodbye,
Well, Andre ain't been kissing nobody.
Well,
Really ain't been kissing.
Oh,
they brought him back for a reason.
I'm confused with Mark Anthony because he kisses every.
We talking about Andre because remember Andre and Cynthia, they really did have a connection because when they went to that sipping paint thing or whatever, she got emotional, and then like right after that he had to go. So I knew that they liked each other.
And I'm not trying to be funny, but if you were, I'm just saying in these situations, if you are Andre, you know what? I'll just stop.
Okay.
Why are you stopping?
Because it's gonna come off bad, and I don't want it to come off bad.
I'm going out on a limb, and I'm going to say Jeffrey is going to take herself out of this process and say, you know what, I'm done with this. That's number one. And then I think the guy that's going to be dismissed, right? I thought about this. I know Tyrone's like, oh boy, let me see if he get it wrong today.
But he said there ain't gonna be no eliminations.
There's gonna be.
It's all of us. It's gonna be blue.
There is gonna be an elimination, and the elimination is gonna come because the exes are going to go back and give feedback on these guys, and then Tommy's gonna meet with the guy, with the ladies, and say, all right, ladies. So tell me, how did what your exes say? Did they like him? And they're gonna go around the room and they're gonna be like, well, you know what you need to do. Take one of the men out and tell them what what he does. And that guy is going to be and it's not gonna be Blue.
Tony?
It's not gonna be Tony.
And it's not going to be Blake. It's
like,
going to be Andre. It's Andre.
Well, we know Blake is safe. It's not Andre.
Because Blake is number one. Blake is number one to Susu. So he ain't going nowhere.
Okay, the guys meeting the exes next week, not the ladies.
So, right. So,
but if a lady self-eliminates, then maybe a guy would leave, right? Is that what PO is saying? Because I feel like that's the energy.
Right. Well, that's exactly what's going to happen. Yeah. So I'm going to say, this is going to be the time I feel like where they're going to meet the ex, and the ex is going to come against Mark Anthony, and he's going to get at it. He's going to be gone.
Because they're going to be like, he's a fraud. He's a fake. He has no substance.
Yeah. So I'm going to say Jeffrey is going to self-eliminate, and I'm going to say Mark Anthony is going to be cut. Fine. I'm going to stick with that.
Well, you know what? I ain't going against it, yo.
Come on, Tyrone. Come on. You could be right this one time if you come on this side, brother.
I don't know,
I'm giving you an opportunity. I'm giving you an
I'm
opportunity.
I'm so tired of your spoilers, Theo. I want you
It's
to
not
just
spoilers.
say I just want you to say some
These aren't
bullshit
spoilers
one day. Just say some bullshit that ain't gonna happen. But this shit makes sense. This right here makes sense. It just makes sense.
Listen, this is what I do.
I need you to say something dumb. Just say something dumb that we can go with, because we don't want you to be right. We in the world don't want you to be right.
I have no connection whatsoever to none of these people in Miami. Actually,
I never had that.
No, I'm just telling. I'm saying this to the chat. I have not had a conversation with anybody. I don't know anybody that is feeding me information or whatever. Like, I'm just telling you what I give you is based off of my thought process and my process of elimination. And so I feel like it's going to be Jeffrey is going to say, I'm out of here. Mark Anthony, you're out of here. Final answer.
Final answer. We're going to see. Just to let you guys know, too, before we head out, this Friday is going to be the 100th episode of Ready to Love. This Friday. The 100th. So all of you guys, because that's why you're here tonight. You're here because of Ready to Love. The 100th episode is this Friday at 8 p.m. And guess where we're going to be? Right here. I'm going to be right here.
I didn't get invited. And I'm the one they like for my season.
Who got invited from your season?
We're not going to talk about the details. We're not going to talk about the details. But there's going to be some special appearances.
Let me get off camera. Hold on, Sabrina. Let me mute myself and go off camera. Okay. Let me text Theo real quick.
Okay. So just to let you know that there is an article out that does, I can't remember exactly where the article is, but you can Google it, the 100th episode, and it does give a little bit of background of what the episode is going to entail. But yes, you will see some familiar faces on there, and I think it's going to be so cool. And you guys know that I am going to be doing the live watch party this Friday at 8 p.m. So watch it with me, okay? Make sure you bring your comments for that section, okay? Make sure you bring your wine, your popcorn. Make sure you bring your drinks, because we are going to have a whole lot of fun this Friday. It's going to be a celebration. You know why? Because it's going to be the 100th episode. It's going to be so much fun. What if I got all of us, like all the ones that I can get together? Oh, wait a minute. I can't. There's a limit to how many people I can have on here. It would be so fun if we could have like a bunch of us on here. Okay. Anyway, wait, I'll be here. So if you guys want to join me, you could join me. And yeah, so definitely make sure you're here. And tonight we definitely was talking about Ready to Love, episode number 7. And I think pretty much this is going to wrap it up. I feel like it's getting good. I'm excited for the drama. I'm excited for everything that's about to come. I'm curious as who's going to be at the reunion, who's going to walk away together. I have so many questions. I am absolutely here for it. And you guys know in the very beginning, and I like to do it in the end, I like to go around the panel and have them introduce themselves and where you can find them. You know, I am Miss Sabrina Soul. You can find me on all platforms at Miss Sabrina, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, which I'm never on. Pretty much everywhere you can find me at Miss Sabrina Soul. And you guys know that I was on Ready to Love DC with the next person that's getting ready to introduce himself.
What's up, everybody? It's always a pleasure, always fun going back at it, using intellectual skills. Shout out to Jonique, who was eliminated. You never want to see that. I mentioned she's amazing. She's beautiful. I don't know if y'all caught that, but she's been blinging since episode 1.
Yes.
I mean, since her first episode. So,
She's a boss.
yes, the 100th episode is really, really exciting. I'm happy to be alumni. I'm excited as well. I may even come join you, Sabrina. And yeah, catch me at Ty Wilson 21 everywhere. I am gonna try to get something out tomorrow, but I'm working on another a few projects, some really, really intense research projects. I have every clip, every episode. So okay, yeah.
All right, PO.
PO 100 sightings. You already know. Find me on IG. That's where I live. So yeah, I'm out there. Yeah, definitely tune into the 100th episode. I am going to probably pop in on the watch party and see what's going on and see what type of stuff they talking about. And yes, it's nice to be a part of and have this extended family. We got Houston, DC, Potomac, Miami, Atlanta. Like, it's and every time I'm with y'all folks, it's all love. So it's great to be a part of this fraternity / sorority / university. We all in here, you know what I mean, and it's all love, man. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Stacy B. You're
Off
muted.
mute.
Boo.
I was muted. Let me take myself off. Shout out to the Joniques, the Cookies, the Stacys. We were eliminated too soon, and everybody keeps hitting us up because they know they missed their blessings.
Not the ponytail swing. Where can they find you on social media?
At Stacy_B. Now, Friday, I have a special event, so I will not be here for the 100th episode. Not because I wasn't invited. Wait, let me add an adjective. Not just because I wasn't invited, even though like everyone loves me. But also because we have a singles event here in Houston, and it's like this dating event. And I'm hosting a pajama jam where Fenty is sponsoring it. And so I'm going to have some Fenty sexy stuff because Rihanna appreciates the moms in us who still have like this sexy swag about ourselves. Thank you, Rihanna, because she recently told us the proper way to say her name, Rihanna. So I will love to show y'all what I look like in some official Fenty Rihanna attire, representing my girl and moms that's doing things differently. Like we don't have to wear muumuus. Thank you, Rihanna, for that. So I do have an event on Friday night. Yeah, Stacy_B. Y'all know I'm simple as hell. I got too many people be chasing all these different social media stuff. But also shout out to B and Cherise for being here tonight. I'm sorry they had to leave us early because of technical difficulties. Those are our girls, so don't forget them. Make sure you follow them. I know my girl up here has it covered. Go ahead, Sabrina.
Yeah, that's actually what I was getting ready to say. If you guys missed the very beginning of the show, and this is exactly why I have it done in the beginning and in the end, because sometimes, we're on here. We've been on here for 3 hours and 33 minutes. That's a long time. And sometimes we do have to leave. So we did have Cherise join us for a little while today, and also Really Be TV. If you go back to the beginning of the video, the very beginning, you can go ahead and catch their socials and their deets, so you can follow them on social media and also subscribe to their YouTube channels as well. But other than that, if you have not hit that thumbs up button, definitely would love the support. If you enjoyed this live, especially if you were here from the beginning to the end, let me know. Like, you were here from the beginning to the end. That is so amazing. Thank you so much for the support, you guys. You all know without you, there is no us. I will see you here live watch party on Friday at 8 p.m. for the 100th episode of Ready to Love. And then back back on Tuesday with another panel review. Other than that, I love you so much, guys. Happy Tuesday.